Yes,
or going live.
we
Okay,
are.
We are
we're
live.
live.
We are.
We're live. I just see your ceiling, Trudy. I want to see more. I want to see your face. And okay, Trudy, if you don't mind, um, start us out in prayer, and we're gonna go. I think the they already know what we're about. We just had to reboot everything, and we are live.
You want to get down?
We are
Tafala,
live
please. Tafala.
right now. Let me get you to Tafallah, Hebrew for prayer, because we are live. Go ahead, Trudy. Go ahead.
Yahuwah, we thank you for this day that you have given us. We thank you for the men that are in our lives, that have been in our lives. And we just thank you for giving us your son. We ask that the Ruach HaKodesh come and abides on this live so that it ministers to each of our spirits and souls so that we as women can be better to our men and our men will learn to be better unto us. But us as women, we can learn how to be better through the Ruach HaKodesh, more obedient, more understanding. And we thank you for this day. In your son name I
Thank you,
pray.
Abba.
So be that.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Yahuwah.
Hallelujah.
Beautiful.
Ooh,
Hallelujah.
okay, what we're going to be dealing with this morning. Sorry for the technical difficulties, first of all, that we had this morning, and getting a very, very late start this morning. But we're going to be dealing with the title again is how do the daughters of Zion supposed to treat the men of that are seekers of Yahuwah. And I know that this is going to be somewhat controversial. All our topics are, and that's okay with that too. But we're all, and I do know this, because somebody's saying, "What do you mean the daughters and the men?" Well, I'm pretty sure it's going to be a rebuttal to this that the men is going to have their chance to. How do the men supposed to treat the daughters of Zion? And already I'm getting from these daughters of Zion here. Well, the men this and the men that. And yeah, but okay, we're gonna get into a lot of this stuff. And so this is a topic that Akut Trudy came up with. So we're gonna let her begin to explain and go into a little detail of what we're gonna be dealing with today, and of course we're gonna read some scriptures because I definitely want to read Isaiah 3 here on that. But the floor is yours, Trudy. Floor is yours.
Hallelujah. All praise to the Most High Yahuwah. Well,
Hmm.
first of all, I don't want any of my sisters to get upset with me
That's all right.
about this much needed topic, this much needing learning process.
Yeah.
The Ruach gave me this. I was looking at my father's picture. Like I said, I've inherited my family's home, and I just thought about how my mother was in the home, and then I looked at the TV when things come up on. Well, I don't really look at TV that much, but on Facebook or TikTok, things that come up videos. For
Hmm.
one, the way women, how we carry ourselves and how we project ourselves to men, and then how we treat our men unknowingly.
Yeah.
Even in
Mm.
the word of Yahuwah, it teaches us how we are to be towards our towards our husbands.
Yeah.
And even men that we are in a relationship with, we have to learn how to rethink women because we've been trained that we don't need a man. I got my education, I got my money, I got my own, I got my mind,
Ooh.
mind, mind, mind. He never made a mind, 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 mind. He made us for men. He didn't make men for us. So we as women have
Absolutely.
to learn how to be submissive, how to be more obedient, a
Hmm.
hard thing to do, and how to do this and go unto Yahuwah.
Ooh.
It's hard, trust me,
Yeah.
but it's able to be done. And I'm a very transparent person. I've been married twice,
Hmm.
and I still, I don't conversate as much with my first husband, but we have children, so um, we don't. The situation is what it is. That's a whole nother topic.
Hmm.
But we as women have to learn how to seek Yahuwah to learn how to be. a woman of a man that's seeking him.
Yeah.
Even in the Torah, it gives us what how we are to treat our husbands, how we are supposed to be in marriage. And this is something that is so lacking because even women, we have to learn how one thing that's very close to me because my she doesn't mind me speaking of it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, our men are more harsh. They can be harsh when they're coming out of situations. How do we stay firm but still gentle to them at the same time? Because we've become y'all know we can be
Mm-hmm.
can
Yeah.
be. But my thing is as learning when you become seeking Yahusha, learning the laws and the commandments, learning yourself again by the Ruach
Mm-hmm.
transform, you're going to have to fall in line with the what he says about this.
Mm.
There's a
Mm.
lot of things that we don't want to hold on to because we don't want to be made wrong. Wrong
Mm.
doesn't always mean right. Right doesn't always mean wrong. And things are flip flop in this world. So y'all know what I mean by that. We've been taught
Yeah.
that downing our man is the right way and uplifting our sister is the downing our man is the right way, but just uplifting our sister is the right way. Is you see what I'm saying? We can't uplift our men. That oh, that's wrong. You shouldn't do that. Just uplift your sisters.
Mm-hmm.
But the sister is not the head. The man is the head,
Ooh.
and we have to. So that's what it's basically about. We as women, we have to learn how to re-love. As we learn to love ourselves, Yahuwah will teach us how to love a man that's seeking Him. From the way
Yeah.
we dress, we talk, the way we keep our house. And it's not saying that we're not wrong in something. You're wrong. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is we have to be retransformed from the way the world has taught us and the colonists have taught us to be.
Yes.
Mm. Mm.
Yes.
Um,
But
and I've also been reading a book called Cleaving to Your Ish. Why and
mm.
so in Genesis it tells us and the 2:24, therefore shall the Ish leave his Abba and his Amma, and shall cleave unto his Isha, and they
Mm.
shall they shall be. So right then we don't want to cleave. We really don't want to cleave. We want to try to control. We can't be say, "Oh, I'm
Oh.
in my soft era," and we still trying to control. Yes, it's hard being a single mother, and it's single men that are single fathers. But we have to learn that being so controlling does not help the situation. But then we want him to be the man. So this is a whole it's a large spectrum. This is from dealing with men coming from prison, how to love
Mm-hmm.
them when they're in transition. Because I know men that are have become Hebrew in prison and they come home and they have no support
Mm.
because
Mm.
those
Yeah.
women have not seen that yet. So that is a
Yeah.
Yeah.
lot that a man has to do. And we think that we have a lot. Yes, women, we do have a lot on us. We do stay up, but that man, when he closes his eyes, his brain is still going too. So
Mm-hmm.
that's y'all can say something.
Yes. Yes.
I would like to jump
Sister
in.
Trudy.
Oh,
Sister Trudy. Sorry. You know, if I could stand, I was gonna give you a standing ovation now. What you just said now, it touched me.
Yeah.
Honestly. What stood out for me the most is when you said we were made for men, not men were made for us.
that's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I wanted to jump
You
in.
muted. You muted, Sue. But go ahead. Go ahead, Jerry.
Okay, so I just wanted to say that I agree with everything that's uh, mm, not Sister Trudy just mentioned.
Yeah.
100%. I just wanted to say that it also helps when you see it in your home. Um, and then going back to the Bible, when marriage were arranged, it was pretty much, the father or the mother or someone kind of paired the couples together, and that they were like-minded, they were equally yoked. When you are yoked with someone who's going north and you're going south, then you're going to have that tension and it's going to make it difficult. So when we yoke up with someone, we have to know ahead of time. You can't just yoke up because they're good looking, they got this amount of money, or they look this way, or they're this height, or they're this weight, or that, or the other. Those things are not as important as, being equally yoked in the ruach.
Mm-hmm.
When you're unequally yoked, you're going to be unbalanced, and there's going to be frictions, and there's going to be more problems than usual. So when you get to see the blueprint, you can emulate that. Now, we were made for men. We are the missing piece from the man, and we complete him. We are help mates. And
Mm.
when we're on the path of righteous, and when you marry a man that's like the man that was called a fool in the Bible, you're going to have issues. And I forget which woman that was, but King David, was it King David? And he was dealing with this other person with his name actually means fool. If you all know who I'm talking about, just feel free to jump in with that.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have a fool, and she kind of went behind his back and said, this is not what we all feel. We don't feel like what he said, and we're all not like him. I wish I had his name.
Mm-hmm.
It's escaping me at the moment. But we have to be wise, even if we are dealing with foolish men. There are men who are foolish, and we need to take it to prayer, because we can assist that man to becoming a better man. I've heard of many, many cases where the man, um, he didn't change because she nagged him. He changed because of her prayers. He changed because he saw the change in her, and there was no
Mm-hmm.
fight in her, and that she was willing to yield to him, and he wanted to be better because she was being better. So sometimes we try to fix people when in fact we need to fix ourselves.
Yeah, I think that's good. I think that's good. Y'all see
Yes,
that I'm quiet because I'm just listening to you guys. But go ahead.
yes. As I was saying, I had to go and sort out something. As I
Mm-hmm.
was saying, I don't know what I missed when I left, but what I was gonna say was what Trudy said really touched me. You know, the part when she said, we as women, we were made for men, and men were not made for us. You know, there's this thing that's going around in society saying a happy wife, a happy life.
Lie.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, yes,
Mm-hmm.
that I disagree with
Yeah.
totally. I would say it's the direct opposite. It would be a happy man, a happy life,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And as she said, um, you know, it starts with us as women. It depends on
Mm-hmm.
how us as women treat a man, you know. You
Mm-hmm.
keep your side clean as a woman, no matter what the man does. If he
Mm-hmm.
does something wrong, because he's your head, he has a head. His head is
Yeah.
Yahusha. If he does something
Right.
wrong, you don't confront him about it in a harsh manner. You go
Right.
to Yahusha, his head, and then you lay a charge against him by his head. And I'm very sure Abba Yahuwah is going to sort him out with that.
Mm-hmm.
But we as women, we need to unlearn the lies that we've been taught: a happy wife, a happy life. There's no such a thing. The man is our
Exactly.
head. When they are happy, then the whole household will be happy. And
Exactly.
the only way for them to be happy is that we, us as women, we humble ourselves, we acknowledge that He is the head, you know, order comes from Him, authority comes from Him. That's the happy life that we need. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that is where it boils down to respect. Because we were given a command by our Yahuah not to love a man,
Mm-hmm.
but to respect him. And that
Yeah.
goes according to that. Being obedient, being submissive, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's what I wanted to say. I don't know if
Let
somebody else said it, but
yeah. Let me say this right here. Uh, well, while it's on my mind, where we are in the lands of our captivities, and um, our society have taught us that it's all about the woman, even in marriage and or getting ready to be married. And I thank y'all for addressing that, Sudi and Sister Yahoo. Um, Women have been taught that they are the prize. That is far from the truth.
yes,
We as men, male, are the prize.
yes,
We are the prize. Now, if you go back to
yes,
scripture, I think it's in Matthew, the what chapter that is. I think the fifth, maybe fifth, 25th chapter. I think where it talks about the the five wise virgins and the five foolish virgins, the 10 virgins. You know what I
mm,
mean?
mm,
They
yeah,
came, they was waiting on the bridegroom. Bridegroom wasn't
yeah,
waiting on them.
yes,
They had to wait. Just like traditional marriage today. Well, I say modern marriage, it's not traditional. Modern marriage today, the man is standing there at the altar waiting on, fixing to get married, waiting on the woman. That is
yeah,
incorrect. Never supposed to have
mm,
been, because
That
he is not supposed to have been waiting on him. She's the bride. She's supposed to be there waiting on him. But
yes,
they have distorted everything. And then they make these shows, Bridezilla and all that kind of stuff. Maybe y'all have watched them. The woman just going crazy because stuff ain't going right for her and stuff. And if I was marrying somebody like that, my mind would be changed with the knowledge and understanding that I have today. I am not marrying you. You're
right.
yeah,
loud. You're loud.
yeah,
You're disrespectful because you think this day is all about you when it's all
mm,
about me.
yeah,
Now I know
yeah,
I will have the even some of the women of Zion that have come into the awakening don't understand this. Don't understand this. Don't know how to address a male. Don't know how to talk to a male. I was talking. A young Yexer he had put out something, and this girl came in and said some stuff, and so I got in it, and I'm being respectful, trying to be as respectful as I possibly can, because y'all know I can get out the way sometime, you know, and uh, um, and just trying to be respectful to her. She just this, this, and so I had finally got enough of her, even though what's that noise? Y'all hear that noise? It went away then.
I
Okay.
did.
And even though I'm very patient with her. And I just simply had enough of her, even though I started it because I didn't have to get in it. But just had enough of her. I said, this is why I said I've been trying to what's that noise?
I hear it. I don't
You
know what
muted
it
it?
is though.
Yeah.
You're muted.
Boy, I tell you this
Sound like it's an
Hashatan
echo
dude,
from you from somebody. Got that mic.
I,
Somebody need to mute
I
the
ain't
mic.
no echo from me because I got on my
I was
headphones.
muted.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
didn't
I
sound like
muted
an
myself.
echo. It's just like something is scratching in it or something. Scratching.
Something
It's not an echo.
scratching.
But anyway,
That's what
let
I'm
me say
saying. It
this. Let me
sound
say
like a
this.
robotic echo.
Robotic echo. Okay. And okay, but let me just finish saying this here real quick. And every time I get ready to say it,
We're gonna bind that spirit.
I
feedback
Of the
know whatever
from
it is,
somewhere.
yeah, rebuke it.
Yeah. I
Just
We
talk
rebuke
over
you
it.
in the name of Yahushua Hamasha right now. But anyway, I was talking to this girl, and I just simply told her, you're standing up there in all of your Hebrew garb, holding your Bible. I said, you're mouthy, and this is the reason why you don't have a husband. You want to appear like you the daughter of Zion, but this is why we must awaken to more than what we awakening to. Because there's a lot of things, man, that we have to be awakened to, but you see, and no disrespect to you all. Sometimes our women don't have husbands. There's a lot of reasons why you don't have husbands. There's a lot of reasons, and some are bad, and some, and that's just the way it is. But a lot of times, why our women don't have husbands, and then they'll be quick to say it, Sister Trudy. I don't need a man, and I don't want a man. Stop lying. You need a man. The Most High created you a female, and He created this male. And just stop lying and bring your pride level down. And
Yeah.
because
I think the
unless
echo
he
is on your end.
mine,
On my end,
Yeah, yeah, something that's interference. Because
okay.
when you're
But listen,
you
talking,
took.
like I muted myself. If everyone mute themselves and then you keep talking, then you'll know.
mhm, okay. Um, um, has to be on me. Hold on. All right, can y'all hear me still?
Yeah, just turn your
Yeah,
speakers
Okay.
down
we
a
can
bit.
hear
All
you.
Your
right.
speakers going.
I just turned myself down a little bit. So,
Okay.
um, but you have to bring your pride level down, because unless the Most High made you a eunuch, you need a man.
That's right.
Unless the Most High made you a eunuch, you need a woman.
That's
Yep.
right.
And,
Exactly. As we
and,
were
and,
we
and
were
but
made from his rib.
yeah, this is not me, because I'm turned down. This is not me. But anyway, we are
It's
not going to
not your
worry about
mic.
that.
Just turn your speakers down some. You probably got your
And
speakers
nothing's
too loud.
coming through my speakers. It's in my
Okay.
headphone. I'm talking through my headphone speakers. I don't have no external speakers on. So,
Okay.
but anyway, and so we need to stop this stuff. I don't need a man, because we hear that mostly from the daughters of Zion. You don't never hear the sons of Yahuwah saying, "I don't need a woman. I don't need a woman." So we want women, but we don't want those attitudes that comes with you all, and especially, I'm gonna get you, Kia. I know you can't wait. Okay. Now, and I know all of y'all don't say this. I'm not putting everyone in the same bowl here. I am not doing that, you know. But y- you guys, as well as myself, we all have heard this come from our women, and and it's only just a it's only just pride, because you are unwilling to change yourself in order to get a man, or even a son of a seeker of Yahuwah. It's not difficult. There's roles that the Most High have given the male, and along with that role comes the proper attitude to carry out that role. That's a role to be played by the daughters of Zion. And with that, that's a certain attitude and personality that you're supposed to have to carry out that role smoothly. But because we're in the lands of our captivity, society have changed to both of us. And until we come back to the Torah,
I
to our
agree.
Torah,
I agree.
because that's it right there, until we come back to our Torah, and begin to seek Yahuwah, so that Ruach can change what we're used to. You see, old habits are hard to break, and a lot of our behaviors have come from conditioning, of course, but they have become habits, and so we're hard. They're hard to break off, and we're reading the Torah, and it's telling the male how to be, and it's telling the female how to be, and we're just reading it and quoting a bunch of scriptures, but we are not allowing the Ruach to change us through that Torah. And this is why
That
we
is
have what we have today. But
That,
let me get Kia because she wanted to go.
Yeah, so first and foremost, it's impossible for anybody to love anyone or to treat anyone right if they don't know our Father first. And a lot of times we want to jump into getting to know
Hmm.
someone and finding some type of relationship when we don't even know what love is.
Hmm.
In my experience, when Father showed me what love was, I knew how to treat someone else and I knew what was expected of them to treat me. Like we
Hmm.
don't know what love is until he really show us. And another thing is if we don't know how to submit to him, how can we know how to submit to a significant other or whatnot, or even authority?
Hmm.
So that's the problem a lot of us have is we really haven't felt that love and gotten to know our Father first before we can
Right.
even sufficiently be able to deal with someone else. And I
Hmm.
wanted to just read this scripture right quick. Before we started, you said one of my favorite scriptures. You said,
Hmm.
a wise woman builds her house, but a foolish
Yeah.
one tears it
That's
down
in
with her bare
Proverbs, right?
hands. And that is
Yeah.
one of my favorite scriptures when even though I'm married, my husband is that's a different story. I ain't gonna get into that. But one thing I know is I'm so grateful for Father to instill in me how to build my household up. And building your household up is you're constantly putting love into that thing. You're putting understanding into that thing. You can you're you can quietly build up instead of tearing down. We could tear down
Hmm.
with our words, we could tear down with our attitudes. And the perfect scripture is, I'm gonna go to Proverbs 31.
Hmm.
Always. This is Proverbs 31. Um 31 and 26. This is how we're supposed to talk to our men. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and in her tongue is the Torah of kindness. This is how we're
Hmm.
supposed to talk to our men. You know, from my experience being married, I know my husband was shut down when I didn't know how to speak to him. It's like women have a tendency of talking, not realizing what you say, not even to just men, talking to anyone. The way you talk can make somebody blank out quick and not even want
Hmm.
make them not want to hear what you're saying in the first place. So it's another proverb that says soft speech breaks the bones. So this
Hmm.
is how we learn how to speak to our men is everything. Um um that's all I wanted to say for now,
Listen.
but
Okay,
yes, we need to learn how to.
Hey, Kia, I want to pivot
let
off of that because that was my mom's favorite scripture.
let me give you let me do this here first, Jerry. Hold your thought. I want
Hmm?
to put this. Can y'all see this comment here on the screen here? This is by
No,
Sister Brenda McDowell. Y'all can't see it. If
I
you had
see many of us have been programmed by
that's it.
society. This is how we behave.
This is how we behave, and this is how it all started, and this is what I think Trudy was saying, myself was saying, sister, we have said these things. And so and again, this is why I say there's more to awaken to than knowing who we are and knowing our creator's name. Most of us just
Yes,
stay right there, and if we just stay right there, because the name is the first and most important thing, because through the name we can be changed. But we just join in
Yeah.
the fact that okay, we know his name. His name is Yahuah, and not this here and that. But if we stay where we are, we would know his name and yet be crippled,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
because we are not adding to us what that name means, and enabling it to change us. So many of us have been programmed by society. Like I said, this is
Mhm.
how we behave. And no one is
Right,
trying
Yeah.
to check and change their behavior. Because I go back to that
right,
that lady that I was dealing with on there, and she just kept being mouthy, kept being mouthy, kept being mouthy, until I just told her,
right,
this is why you don't have a husband. Because a
right.
Mhm.
real man, listen, a real man just ain't gonna keep I heard Kia said the way she was and this here and that, her husband was just shut down. You know what I mean? Just shut down.
Mm-hmm.
And they need to know this about us. Y'all really need to know this about us. You have to talk to us right. I don't care if you if I don't care if you're a daughter of Zion, you make all the money and all this kind, you make more
Mm.
money than me. It still does
Yeah.
not give you the right, and you shouldn't even have
Right.
the
Yes.
audacity if you
True.
if you knowing the scriptures and stuff to talk the way you want to
Yeah.
talk to me. I don't care if you
Yes.
disagree with me. Most women does not know this right here. When you're talking that way to that man and you'll call yourself is just whatever, trying to straighten him up and straighten him. The Most High sees that,
Mm-hmm.
and He do not like that in no way. Because how can you say you love Him and respect Him who you don't see, and when He have put that male in the earth as an image of Himself to you?
Yeah.
And you're talking this
Exactly.
way to the image of, but they don't have the depth of this knowledge and understanding to know when you are addressing that male in a disrespectful way. And you might say, women of Zion, you might say that, well, he look how he doing me, look how he talking to me, and this here and that. Look, on any job, on your physical job, if you're messing up, if you're messing up out there, you know, well, I don't even have to say that. Anytime a male is messing up your husband or whatever, you talk to his head that's over him.
Yes. Yes.
You talk to his head that is over him.
Yes.
You don't have the
Yeah.
right to talk to us any kind of way. You think that you are getting us told and this here and that, but what you actually doing is disrespecting Yahuwah.
You
Yes.
being out of order, trying to
You
bring
being
order.
out of
Yeah.
order, trying to bring order. That was
Mm-hmm.
a lady, a friend lady of mine. She told me and my wife this one time. She was desiring something. She was good and saved, what you want to call saved, and she wanted a nicer home than what her and her husband had. That's what she wanted, and so she began to seek the Most High for it. And this is her testimony. Said Pastor Page, he told me that I want to give you this, but you don't talk to your husband right. You don't respect him. And because you do not respect him, I'm denying you this. Until you get that in order, repent of it and treat that man the way that you're supposed to treat him because I placed him over you. She's telling me this. She didn't tell
Mm-hmm.
me all this. I placed him over you. So until you do that and get that right and repent from your heart, from your ruach, then I will make these things happen for you. And she did it,
Oh,
and she did, and it happened for her. But I'm telling you, most of our women today, especially, I know it's around the world, but especially the heart of Babylon women, the United
hmm,
States,
yes.
y'all yeah, if you ain't doing this, don't put yourself in it. But
Hmm.
but y'all
Right.
are off the done chain.
Running loose.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
yes,
Uh.
truth be told, and let me say this
It's
here one more
glorified
thing.
too. It's
Yeah,
glorified
it's
in the
glorified.
music industry. It's
Yeah.
glorified. It's promoted because what that does is destroy families.
It
And
destroys
Yeah.
families. And listen to
mhm,
this here, Jerry, and all of you women of Zion that is hearing me and that will hear me. You don't ever have to like what I'm saying.
mhm.
It's the truth though,
It's the
and it
truth.
would
Yeah.
and it
It's the
would be at
truth.
your good if
We
you
have to
begin to.
unlearn and relearn.
You have to do this.
Yeah.
You have to do this. But people
Yeah.
seem to
Mm.
just throw it away because they don't like it. Man, I didn't
Right.
like
Yeah.
spinach when I was coming up, but I found it was one of the best things for me, so I just had to get past it
mhm,
and eat it.
Right.
Yeah.
mhm,
Y'all
And you
following
know
me?
what helps is having the women as mentors. You know, when you see how your mother treated your father, that is going to be something that gets repeated unless
Mm-hmm.
you know how to humble yourself, and it comes through humility. I had to learn and relearn the things that I've done wrong. My daughter just she just came she just mentioned to me, she said, just like Adam and Eve, when Eve messed up and went outside of, what did you say? Adam's direction. Out of Adam's direction. In God's direction. Yahuwah's directions for
Tell her to come in there. Tell her to come in there. Let her sit beside you.
she said sit
Come on.
beside me.
No, don't be afraid. Don't be ashamed, young lady. You know, this is how our young ladies and young men would
Can you
learn
get in the
wisdom and
picture more?
understanding.
Did we
So
get a better
get in the
picture?
picture. Let me share this with you. Let me share this with you. I don't, and sometimes we misspeak. We misspeak.
She
I
is not in the awakening, but she might say
That's
God,
okay.
so please
That's
forgive
okay.
her.
It don't
She knows
offend
that
us.
it's a title, so we
Hey,
she knows that.
she listen. She's of Yasharel, and one day she will
Mm.
be. I'm just gonna
Yes,
leave it there.
Exactly.
hallelujah.
Cause
Yes,
Yes.
our
hallelujah.
father,
Yeah,
our
Hallelujah.
father
that's my baby.
is not gonna leave
She's
us.
sitting in a lower chair. That's why she
That's
looks
okay.
shorter.
That's okay. But what I want to
Okay.
say is this right here.
Let
Uh,
me see.
I don't blame you. You have to look at this thing. Eve wasn't really distance or out of the way of Adam.
Mm-hmm.
Adam just didn't step up to his role then.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently the serpent always talked for no one to be surprised about nothing. So maybe Adam didn't do anything or say anything for that reason, but he had the command. Adam was given the command. Maybe he whispered to her or whatever, but the scripture says this right here. After Eve ate, she gave to her husband that was with her. He was
Right.
right there. He was
Right.
right there. And when Eve ate, nothing happened. They still didn't know that they was naked. They
It
still
was
didn't know
when the
these things.
head,
Huh?
when the head ate.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I don't fully blame Eve. I blame Adam because sin didn't come into the world until the man ate. Until the
Yeah.
man ate. If the man had a never ate, y'all could have ate up everything on that tree if you want to. When nothing gonna change, and the Most High just probably would have just got rid of you and just broke another one of Adam's re-ups out of him and made another one.
Right,
Y'all
right,
understand what I'm
right.
saying?
That,
But
But
he
but
was the
but no,
covering. He
that
was
is
the
why.
protector. He was
he
supposed
was. He
Mm,
was.
to get to
But
mm,
rep.
mm,
She was supposed to be under his tutelage. Under his command, pretty much. But
hmm
I don't need what possessed her to do that. And she was
she saw,
beguiled. He left her alone or something.
and that's what. No, I could be wrong, but I don't think that Canoe
He
or
was
that
with
Eve.
him.
I don't think that Canoe was left alone. I don't think that she was left alone. It's just the man failed to do his part. He
mhm.
failed the woman. And
Yeah.
so that's how the woman did what she done. And that's why I don't care much for passive men. Passive men.
Right. Right.
You know, when a
Not at
man
all.
is passive, when a man is passive,
Yeah, you got to be a
guess what
leader.
he's doing? He's giving the strength that he's supposed to have to whoever mate that he has in
And
her.
then she becomes the Jezebel spirit.
Well, there's many ways that a woman can become a Jezebel spirit, but can receive that Jezebel spirit. She can receive that through a man raping her, her daddy beat her. The Jezebel spirit, it just gives way to a woman that is angry at the male. So you have to be careful with
Mm,
that. You have to be careful with that.
right.
Yes.
That male might not be
Um,
what he need. Go ahead, sister.
I just want to emphasize on something that you said. Us as Yasharal women, we're supposed to set the standard in everything. Um, I know the title says, "How are we as daughters of Zion are supposed to treat the men that are seeking our Yahuwah?" But I would
Mm-hmm.
also want to add by saying we should know our our
Do you want to?
position, not only when it comes to men that are in Yahuwah or the ones that are seeking our Yahuwah. Since we are in truth, whether our men are not or are in truth, we should still maintain what according to scripture, we should still be submissive, we should
Mm-hmm.
still be humble, we should still know our places as women, because through our example, through our ways of how we treat him, it might bring him into truth. But if we're going to be hard-headed, and we are working now, we are earning everything, he's not having anything, we
By
are the
design.
the the providers, if we can put it that way. Now we want to make him feel less of himself, not only because he's not in truth, but because he's not contributing financially or anything. We should still
Mm-hmm.
be, as daughters of Zion, we should still be submissive to him. That
Mm-hmm.
is my point. It's not only about men that are seeking Abba Yahuwah, it's men, period.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to hear
Yes,
from
that's
Jerry's
what I
daughter
wanted to say.
again. I wanted to hear from your daughter again, Jerry. So
Oh, she
about
went to
what we're
get a
saying.
better chair. Yeah,
Okay,
she
good deal.
went.
All
She
right,
went to
go.
get a better chair.
Okay, go ahead, Sister
Yeah.
Suyahu. I'm sorry.
And yeah, that's all. I just wanted to emphasize that.
But they
Um
don't know
yeah,
this. The women, I mean, it's just a unending cycle. They don't know this. It's just like I said on one of the
yeah,
lives. I know grandmothers now that are in their 30s. What do a
yeah,
30-year-old know? I mean, you didn't even teach. This is why you're a grandmother at 30 something,
yeah,
because you didn't teach your
yeah,
daughter the things that she needed to
Mm-hmm.
be taught, and
yeah,
so that make the cycle continue. It just continues, man.
yeah,
I tell
My
you,
my my daughter is a newlywed. She just got married last June. So
congratulations.
thank you.
yeah,
Thank
Yeah.
you, CD One. We were together for 10 years before that.
Hmm.
So we really took our time and waited for the right moment to move on to the next stage of life together. And
Hmm.
he doesn't allow me to talk to him just any type of way without
That's
him,
right.
taking a stance and saying, like he needs to be respected and treated fairly, and he'll do the same to me, and just
Hmm.
yeah,
balance each other out like
Now I
that.
got a question.
But yeah, he
How do
does
you?
it in a like playful way to where he's not. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and sometimes we have to do that, because when we love you, we don't really want to hurt your feelings. So, but you need to
Hmm.
catch that hint that I'm doing this in a prayerful way, but I mean what I say. And if it
Yes.
continue to happen, then you'll see that playful way begin to dissipate and go away.
Right.
And then that's where we'll
Right.
have some problems at, you know.
Right.
But have you done that? Are you mindful of that now?
Yes, well, I never really was that like disrespectful towards him because I grew up with my mom who didn't play that, so
Yeah,
I knew like not to talk to him any type of way. But when we had a difference of opinions or something like that, yeah,
that's
he would
still a
always put
way.
his foot down.
Yeah, that's still a
Hmm.
way you should carry yourself with your husband
Hmm.
when y'all have disagreements and stuff. Because many of them
yeah,
today, they think that we've learned a lot of things. Um, we've learned a lot of things from the Gentiles, you know. And
yeah,
I'm not trying to bring this Gentile into it because I know where that'll go. People don't want to they don't want to know understand what they have done wrong. But if you would read those Willie
Right.
Lynch letters, you'll see the exaltation of the female
Hmm.
slave and the demotion of the male
Yes.
slave.
Right.
And that's how
Right.
all of that came about, to
Right.
and then
That
even with
destroys
that,
family.
it destroys family. And then what he did, he beat that male slave, that male husband in front of that female slave. And but they always made sure that that female was pregnant.
Mhm.
Because if she see her husband getting beat by this slave owner, and the seed that was in her, especially if it was a son. Fear enters into that womb. You know
Yep.
what I mean?
Yep.
And so,
Generational.
but what that female is seeing, tell you why our men are so soft today. What that female is seeing that her husband is getting beat, he can't do anything, and he's getting beat.
Mm-hmm.
So what it caused that female to do was to take
It's
that son that she
disrespect.
was having. No, take that son that she was having and just cuddle keep him, make him soft. He
Yeah.
can't even pick up dirt
Yeah.
in the yard and put it in his pocket. He can't even put his hand on a frog. This little old son of hers, he can't even go out
Oh
in the yard
yeah.
and play
Make
with
them
a frog.
soft.
And the
Mm.
mother say, no, no, that's dirty, that's dirty. Let that boy get dirty and tough. Are y'all
Yeah.
understand me?
Mm-hmm.
And so, but you let your girls
Yeah.
just do and say and go whatever, but you're culling that son because of that trauma
Mm-hmm.
that
Yeah.
great grandmother seen. And now she got to make sure she protect
Yeah.
this male. And you're going, and that male growing up to be crippled by what mama
Yeah.
holding them so close together, won't let him do
Wow.
nothing, won't let him
Wow.
go anyway. And that trauma is still in us.
Wow.
So, and
That's
so that's what
profound.
makes us, yeah, that makes us soft. And so when we do get older, that that softness is still in that male, but it's been bred that woman to be tougher. And you can say this and you can say
Mm.
that, and y'all did have to stand up for us.
Right.
Occasion a
Because
lot
it
of
was an
times
attack on masculinity.
it was an
Mm.
attack on masculinity. But now I'm off the road now. I'm home now, and I'll tell you what I mean by that. I'm off the road now, and I'm home now, and I'm ready to take my house back. I say that concerning, I've met long haul drivers, long road drivers. They drive from state to state, and they gone from weeks at a time. Truck drivers, and the woman at home, she have to take care of everything, the bills and this and that, because he's off. And I've seen
Mm-hmm.
men that come back home off the road and they got new
Mm-hmm.
jobs, but it's hard for her to give him the house back because she's been ruling so
Mm-hmm.
long. And this is what most of you
Right.
guys
Right.
are. Y'all been ruling so
Right.
long. And so when you
Right.
do get the man that Yahuwah sent you, according to you, you still push him away because you don't want to give him the house. You don't want to give it to them because
Right.
y'all been ruling for so
Right.
long. And you got to be careful of
Right.
that because there's men, such as myself, just don't take this stuff. And there's people been married for years, 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 years. But that stuff is going on in the home. And you have lost that male's heart. You have lost it. And you don't even know it. It's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like the best way I can describe it is this right here. When you don't obey Yahuwah and walk right, take King Saul. King Saul was the king that was chosen by Yahuwah, right? And he gave that guy one commandment after another. He would never obey it. And so Yahuwah fired him without him even knowing he was fired. You see, and David was the king, and David didn't take the position until what, 10 or 15 years later. But King Saul still had the position, but he was fired. Or I wasn't even talking to him no more. And this is the way it is in a lot of marriages, in a lot of homes. You know what I mean? You have lost that man because and because he's still there, you think you have him. You think everything okay, but it's not that way. It is just simply not that way because you didn't tore that house down with your hands, with your mouth. Yeah, and I'm glad that the Bible says hands. You know what? Because this is what y'all use these days. And you like your hand in your mouth. There you go, kid. All this your stuff and your hand. You tearing it
And
down
the
with your
neck.
hand.
The neck
And
too.
yeah, like you got python in it or something. I don't know, but it's the serpent. But and
Python neck.
Can I
yeah,
say
it's
something?
striking. And I don't know who you think you are, man. And this and that. I make the money around here. Yeah, you do. And you fixing to live by yourself. Because I don't care if you make the money. I still am a male, I'm a man, and I'm a strong one. But if I put up with that crap, you study tearing me down. You study tearing me down.
Right.
So
Right.
you what's your daughter name, sister Jerry?
Oh,
What's your name again?
Candace.
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 Learn from these old heads here. It is never good to even shout at your husband. I know you see that stuff
Mhm.
on television and whatever else you see it, but that's society. It is never good to do it. Because if you do it one
No,
time, you're going to do it another time. And if you want peace
mhm.
in your home, then you got to play your role. You got to stay in your place, and he got to stay
Mhm.
in his place. And that's
Yeah,
what
I
it is.
love the
And then
idea of prioritizing peace.
exactly,
Yes.
exactly. Go ahead, Kia, because I'll be talking about this here a while, but go ahead.
So this is a perfect story. I'm sorry I don't have the scripture, but I'll just tell it right quick. So I think it was Isaac. Abraham with Isaac. No, it was Isaac with his son Ishmael. And
Hmm.
Yes,
Abraham, no, Isaac went to go see Ishmael, and he had a wife. And that wife was just
yes.
man, she was loud. She just anyway,
Mhm.
Abraham pulled up on Isaac's house while Isaac wasn't there. And Abraham was no, y'all, am I telling a story right?
No, you're right.
Isaac
You on the right track.
What is
Isaac
she
pulled
saying?
up to
Kia,
Ishmael's
you
house.
might have a feedback. Do you have another device? Because you might have to lower the volume on the other device.
I
Yeah.
don't think it's her.
Heard it while you guys were
Yeah, I don't think
now
it's
I'm
her. I
muted.
think it's just a technical difficulty, So, but go ahead.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so Isaac pulled up at Ishmael's house and his wife was there. Ishmael wasn't home. And the wife was just nasty, she was rude, and Isaac was like, I'm gonna leave you alone, but let my son know that them pigs. I keep going muted, y'all. Is everything okay?
All right, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead. Hmm.
So Isaac told the disgruntled wife, he was like, "Well, when I get home, let my son know he needs to get rid of those pigs." Long story short, so
Hmm.
Ishmael knew what he was talking about, so he got rid of her, and he ended up finding another wife. Y'all, I'm paraphrasing. I hope y'all know this story, but I just wanted
Come
to
No,
on,
bring
I
we
it to
got
know
you.
the
We
everyone's
got you.
story,
mind.
so I know what you're talking about. Now, was that
So the new wife
Abraham talking to
that was Isaac
Ishmael?
with I think it was Isaac with Ishmael, I believe.
Yes,
It was
Isaac
With
and
Ishmael.
Abraham.
Ishmael.
Ishmael.
Elijah
It
and
was
Ishmael was
So
a
Abraham.
partnership.
when yes, when he got the new wife, this shows the character of us. We're supposed to be kind. We're supposed to be
Yes.
loving no matter who it, not just to our husband, but to everybody. It shows our heart. In our heart, we
Mhm.
have to be changed. We have to be
Mm,
meek and mild. We have to start with
Mhm.
the scriptures first. The Father teaches us
Right.
how to be meek. No, some of us are like that
mm-hmm,
naturally. Meek and
Right.
mild,
mm-hmm.
Right.
humble, submissive.
Mhm.
But to get back to the story, the new wife, she had that nature. She was kind. She treated him with kindness without knowing
And
who he
she
was,
invited him
which
in where the
she
other one
invited
didn't
him
even
in.
invite him in. She didn't even
Yeah,
Yeah.
inquire about him.
yes, and I just think
Yeah.
that's the perfect story. I want to share it so maybe people can go back and read it
Yeah.
our women
I
can
believe
look
it
and
was
see
Abraham and when he went to visit his son Ishmael. What was it
Isaac with
Abraham?
Yes,
Ishmael.
it
Oh
was
yeah,
Ishmael,
Ishmael.
Abraham with Ishmael. You're right. You
Ishmael,
might be right,
Mm-hmm.
Jerry.
Ishmael is Hagar's son. Isaac is
Yes.
Sarah and child.
Right,
So this
And
is
right.
Yes,
so
in the
is it
apocryphal
Abraham
book.
or is it somebody else?
Abraham is the
it's
father of
Abraham.
Ishmael.
Yes,
It's
yes, yes.
Abraham.
Okay. All right. Yes. All right.
Yeah,
Yes, I
so
remember that
Abraham.
story very, very well. And
Okay, let me let
Yeah,
me let
he
me
so
let me let
spoke
me
in
put this.
codes too, but
Let me put this
Ishmael
up.
knew
This
exactly
is
what he was
this.
talking about
Can
because
y'all
she
see
had
that?
to deliver the message to um Ishmael, and he said it in a code, but Ishmael understood what his father meant by that wife,
Yes,
and he got
yes,
rid of her.
yes,
This
yes.
this
meaning
person
Yes,
that
you
woman
said
were.
that this person says it was Abraham that went and saw his son Ishmael, and Ishmael had a
Yes,
bad
okay,
wife.
yes,
Yes,
that's it.
that's
that's
true.
correct.
Hmm.
That's
Melissa
correct.
Roby.
Yes, yes. And
Yeah.
so the second wife, like Kia said, she had a very mild demeanor, and she invited him in for something to eat
Yes,
and
he was
drink,
humble.
and she was
Yeah,
hospitable to him, and she gave him
yeah,
reverence, and
yeah,
he said
Oh,
another code word, and she told Ishmael, so he knew that was the woman for him.
yes.
other
That's how the
woman
story
Yeah,
Yeah,
goes.
and
but
and
was
Yeah.
eating.
sometimes, in other countries, they pick out the spouses, and because they know the demeanor of the child. When my daughter met her husband, I asked the father to her husband if he could take her to her prom, and lo and behold, they hit it off well. And the thing was that they did it on their own, but I knew both of their pretty much demeanor. He was
Hmm.
mild mannered, and he was very reserved, and my daughter had that similar characteristic, and they just hit it off really well.
Hmm. Well, that's great. When it
Mhm.
happens and stuff like that. But I'm telling you,
Mhm.
there's a lot of
I
things.
wanted to bring up a point about the virtuous woman.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Verse 31:29 says, many daughters have done virtuously, but thou excellence exceeds them all. So when you're looking at a virtuous woman, is she's not backing down. She's doing the right thing even in the face of adversity. She's being a force to be reckoned with, but in a godly sense, in Yahuwah's way, forcing to
Hmm.
come from Yahuwah, striving to be a Proverbs 31 woman. We are being brave in this matter. So when we're dealing with adversities in outside the home, inside the home, things within ourselves, we're supposed to not be not bickering about it. We're supposed to be strong, steadfast, going outside of
Hmm.
the norm, refuse to go along with the husband, bashing him or even subliminal disrespect. We're not supposed to do that. Where we will
Yeah.
subliminally do something to tear him down. That's not being that. First Peter 3:6 does things in abundance of the heart. So when we
Mm.
are being Proverbs 31 woman, we have to be doing it from the abundance of our heart.
Right.
You have to do these things. And the key takeaway is none of her praiseworthy deeds will be possible unless she feared Yahuwah. And that's in verse 30 of Proverbs.
Yeah.
I mean, Peter, excuse me.
Yeah.
yeah,
All
It
good
is.
deeds.
yeah,
1 Peter 3.
Y'all just keep talking.
Peter, um, the third chapter, 11 through 29. Verse that. And the key verses of Proverbs 31 is 11, 23, and 28. Being faithful, submissive, patient, brave on inside and out. These spiritual traits take more effort than getting up early. And so it's not something that's easy to do. We're going to
Mhm.
face a lot of, but one thing we have to remember too, women do not listen to what men say because the man isn't in the home. Driven out of the home by the colonists. They drove him out, and then in the 60s, he really got driven out of the home because we started depending on
Yeah, due to
government
welfare. Mhm.
War on
Mhm.
drugs.
Drugs,
welfare,
welfare,
Section 8,
alcohol, and
you know.
pornography, promiscuity, being going to clubs. They put all of that in there because we lose our power when we sin. So sin was the something that keeps them in their highest and us at our lowest. So when we are not able to understand engagement with marriage and speaking to men and how they in this space, um, it it puts us at a disadvantage, and not only us, it put our children at a disadvantage. So, it kind of wash, rinse, and repeat, and it goes down the generational line. And so we have to unlearn to relearn. There's a lot of things that I did right in my marriage, but there's a whole lot more I did wrong. And because, every action, there's a reaction. Um, I recall the time where my husband at the time, I'm divorced, but he was putting together um, a swing set. And he said, well, the first time he was putting together the crib, and so, it was his first time, and it's our first time having a child. So I tested it out to make sure it was safe, and the whole thing caved in. So me get being emotional and hadn't learned at that time, because I'll tell you two stories, one where I hadn't learned and one where I did learn. I kind of went off because I said that could have been our baby, and he would have just collapsed or got hung or injured in here. So I the way I approached him was out of excitement for the child, and I didn't even consider his feelings, you know. And so I
Let
said,
me
there's a
hold
whole
on
lot of
one minute,
missing
Jerry.
screws.
Hold on for a minute.
Mhm.
If you're not talking, let me get you to mute your mics. If you're not talking, okay. Now that went away. Go ahead, Jerry.
So yeah. So I said there's a whole lot of missing screws, and I went on, but I didn't even stop to consider how he felt the way I went in on him. So, as we moved to another house, and he was putting together the swing set. And I said, honey, you want me to help you with putting together the swing set? He said, no, I got it. And I said, okay. I knew that was going to be a problem for him. So I went up to my daughter's room and I looked down at him to see what he was doing. And it was so many pieces. He literally was going like this, like he was like going crazy, like he didn't know what to do. And I stayed out of the way and waited for him to ask me for help. I learned, as you mature and you get older, you learn. I learned that I'm not opening up my mouth, I'm not saying anything. And then he finally came in sweating, huffing and puffing. And so I said, listen, I said, you can put this together, honey. I'll help you. I said, I will be the one sorting the things out, and you be the one putting together. You're still going to put it together by yourself. I'll just be here as your helpmate to make sure I sort all of the screws, all of the light pieces, and then I will read the direction and you put it together. And that swing was put together the correct way. And I
Mm-hmm.
waited for him to ask me for the help because I knew his pride, you know, wasn't going to, no, listen, we're on the same team. I'm here to be your helpmate. What you are lacking, I'm here to build you up. But some people just have to learn that. I saw that with my parents,
Mm-hmm.
how my mother made sure my dad's needs were met. He can come
Yeah.
lay his head down without having to worry about
Mm-hmm.
the house being not kept, whether the children was unruly. My mom kept house well, and she loved her man, and I saw
Mm-hmm.
this. But it goes back to being equally yoked. So if you're not going to have the correct man, you're going to have problems, but that doesn't mean that your problems can't be resolved if you work together as a couple
Mm-hmm.
and you put one another first and you go before the most high to seek him in your matter. A lot of times what I used to do in my marriage, I would complain, talk to everybody because he wouldn't listen, he wouldn't understand, he couldn't feel me, he shut down. And when men start to shut down, they're looking for peace elsewhere. they're doing whatever they're doing, and some of them just in their nature because other men are in their ears telling them, oh yeah, you just don't need to be with one woman, and you just all of that stuff. So and then people think that that is the right way, but we're the Most High said, husband, love your wives. Love covers a multitude of sin. It covers all things. So when you're loving her properly, you're actually guiding her into treating you well because how well you love her. So that's
That's
my two
that's
cents.
that's
You want
that's
to add
very.
anything?
I think I'm okay. You covered a great deal. Yeah.
Yes.
Let me hear from the young sister there. You said
Oh,
you agree with that? Yeah.
yeah, I do to a certain extent. Like, you got to let the man have his space, and then come and admit to you that he doesn't have it all together and that he needs help. That's my husband will make sure that my opinion is at least heard, even though when he makes a decision, he doesn't always choose the way I think things should be.
Mute your
But
mic if you're
he
not
does take
talking.
my. I'm
No,
sorry.
I'm just telling someone that mute their mic if they're not talking. But go ahead, sister. Go
Mm.
ahead.
But yeah, as I was saying, like it takes a certain level of pride and understanding and trusting yourself to being able to admit you have a problem and need assistance. But it for somebody who's looking at that on the outside in, it's good to wait for them to bring you up to base to say, I need your help, like my mom's situation. But yeah,
Hmm.
that's I don't know what direction I'm going in, but that's a
No,
little
you were
two
saying
cents.
another
No.
thing about, he
Hmm.
will take your.
Oh yes, that's one thing I do respect about my husband. Like he'll make sure my opinion is at least heard and
Yeah.
considered, and if it doesn't make logical
Hmm.
sense to him, he'll at least go through that scenario in his head and tell me
Hmm.
why my decision wouldn't quite work out. And I just appreciate the way he's able to analyze several scenarios and
Hmm.
in order to influence his decision and not just say it's my decision and that's the way we're going to go. And I'm a person who's curious and likes to know why. So if my
Okay.
decision isn't his choice, then I'd like to know why. And he does a good job of explaining that,
Okay.
which
And if
I
that works
appreciate.
for you guys, hooray, like that. But what if he was that
Mm.
person that say it's my decision and I'm gonna make it, and don't value your opinion? Then what would be your attitude?
I would start questioning him into a logical decision, like, well, what if this happens with that scenario? Did you account for that? And if I really know whatever I decide is like foolproof in its
Yeah.
plan, then I can back up my logic and reasoning to prove to him that that's the way to go. But if not, I probably won't accept it until I can hear reasoning behind that decision as
Okay. All
well.
right. Now let me say something to that. And Trudy, I see you. And Kia, I see you too. Let me say something to that. And see, if he's that kind of person, well, it's my decision and I'm gonna make it. You shouldn't
Mhm.
be okay only if you still got to hear your reasoning behind. You still need to know this. You still
Right, I
need.
respect it.
If it gets
You
to a
chose it.
level where he
Hmm.
still
You
don't
sure
care
did.
about your opinion or
Mm.
what you think about it, and the why, you take him to Yahuwah if you still want
Yeah.
peace.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
any
That's very
man that
true.
and
Yeah.
any man, because he still don't have to answer because you ask him why. He might not be that kind of man. But
And
That's
you
even
let
if
true.
he is
let me
wrong,
True.
let me
even if he's
even
wrong,
even if he is wrong.
So, yeah,
And
you just have
see,
to let them go down that path.
you have to know what it looks like when it says a wise woman builds her house. You often
Yeah.
fail in that because you don't know what it looks like when it materializes. So you fail in it.
hmm
Mm.
A
right.
wise woman builds her house. Okay. All right.
Right.
If your husband's saying, okay, we're gonna do it this way, and you say, well, I don't know, baby, this here and that, and he said, no, we're gonna do it this way, and you know in your heart that that is not the way to do it. You got me? You know in
Yeah.
your heart that that is not the way to do it. You go talking to Yahuwah about
I
him right now,
take it
or
to God in prayer and let Him
listen,
do His thing. I'm
and
sorry.
you probably don't even have to take it right then. You probably don't even have to take it right then. Sometimes we just need to fall on our head. But we don't
Yeah.
need you to tell us. You got to,
Mhm.
y'all don't know men. I'm trying to let you in our head. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And but you get all discombobulated. The woman would get all discombobulated because he is not doing what she say right then.
Yeah.
Let us fall
I
sometime.
can kind of tell what the problem is because men had, our men, especially our men, they can be loyal, but they're not loyal to us.
Yeah,
They'll be
yeah,
loyal to any and everybody else except us. And all we want to do is serve them and treat them well. And then they take advantage of your loyalty. They take advantage of your good nature. They take advantage of everything. And no one wants to be used and abused and thrown away like toilet paper.
yeah.
We want to be loved. So
But
at
y'all
what
do us the
point?
same way. Y'all do
Yeah,
us the same way because
I'm,
y'all
that's
and bust
true.
out.
That is
But
very
y'all,
true.
let me say this. But y'all and bust out the fence and got out of the pastor too, so to speak. So
Unfortunately,
Yeah. Yeah,
unfortunately,
so some
what
people say that like a black woman would give a white man more respect than her own
she
men,
will,
and they'll
she
talk
will.
about
and vice
yeah,
versa.
and
I'm gonna
yeah,
get to
vice
Trudy.
versa. But
Let me go to Trudy because everybody want to weigh in on this right here. Well, go ahead, Trudy. Go ahead,
okay.
and then I'm gonna go to
The
you,
reason
Kim.
that because it sounds like we're going to the avenue, black men with white women, white
Mm-hmm.
black women with white. That's where it sounds like we're at right now.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The reason why that is because of the authority that has been instilled that they are over us. They are our master. So we're going to be more submissive, more humble, more less spoken because
Wow,
that's
that's
something that has been
profound.
instilled from generation to generation. Or when you go to the
Yes,
Yeah.
workplace, you talk to
yes,
the boss. So you see what I'm saying? This is
yes,
something that's been conditioned in us. So we as
yes,
women who know that are learning of Yahuwah and the laws, we are have to recondition ourselves through the Ruach because we cannot do it ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have to
We
be
Yeah,
that's why
yeah,
it says
yeah,
don't be conformed. We've been conformed to their way, the
right.
same way they use colorism to
yeah,
divide us, and it
So
caused us to
yeah,
be more earth,
yeah,
towards one another.
so you all have to begin to see us again as your heads and not
yeah.
them because they're not.
yeah,
They are not.
yeah.
Yeah,
And,
let me say this right here.
hold
Let me
on for
say
a
this
minute,
right here.
Tone. Hold on for a minute, Tone.
Please
I
let me
want to be
say this
fair.
for. Please let me deal
Let
with this.
him
Please,
talk.
please let me deal with this.
Please let him deal with it, please.
That's a
Now,
sad.
don't get upset, but if you do, it's all good. The fact
Yeah.
that you said that men not loyal,
Not
I'm gonna say it
all,
like Bernie Mac.
a lot.
Listen, I'm gonna say it like Bernie Mac. That's bull. That's bull.
It is.
Listen to me. Men are listen to me now. Listen to me. Men are loyal. One
Mhm,
thing a man does not like, and you got a
mhm.
lot of soft spoken men, quiet men that sit back in the cut. They don't do a lot, but they're real men. And a
Yes.
lot of them type men have outspoken women. A
Mm,
man doesn't
mm.
like a woman that just talk, 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 talk,
Loud.
talk, talk, talk. That's
Hmm.
that's that's get on them. That's one thing that get on a man's nerve. If you got a woman that just talk all the time, I can tell that woman is ruling that house.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing about a man, they like a soft spoken woman who know how to take care of her home and knows her place.
Yeah.
But if
Okay.
Yeah.
you got saying
And
that a
that
man
don't
is not
diminish her.
loyal, no, that don't diminish her. But saying that a man is not loyal, men are loyal to what gives them respect. And when that woman
Yep.
is
Absolutely.
giving
Because
that
That's
because
man
where
that's
the
true
what we
equally
respect,
want.
yoke comes in.
listen,
Yep.
Because that's what he
listen
wants.
to
Yeah.
me. Listen to me. That's what I'm talking about. Listen to me. Listen to me.
Yes.
What gives a man doesn't need that love like a
Don't
woman
need it.
wants to love.
He
A
needs
man
respect.
needs that respect from that woman.
That
Mm,
that's
Respect.
more.
Yes.
That's
Then that
paramount.
woman will get
Hmm.
true love. See, that's what
Yes.
I'm
From that
talking about
man.
now. Then
Yes.
that woman will get true love from that man.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Now,
Word.
now, I'm not saying that women can't be strong,
Mm-hmm.
but be strong when you don't have a man. When you
Yeah,
got a
yeah. I
man,
realize
depend on that man.
Yeah.
life is so
Yeah.
much easier when I just
Boy, my son spoke
respect,
with some
trust.
wisdom
I
then,
give
didn't
it
he?
all. Like it's so easy just relying on him and just respecting his decision because he thought about it. That's great. I didn't have to think about it or do anything. He got it.
And he's your
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
covering. Yeah,
Hmm.
Yeah.
he got you.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
let me
I
and that's
want to.
that's what we'll do. That's what will happen when we get that true respect. Now I'm gonna put
Hmm.
myself out there. My wife knows her place. My wife
Yeah.
knows her
Mm-hmm.
place. She can say this and say, well, we ought to do it this way. Sometimes okay, yeah, let's do it your way. And sometimes no, just go. I got this. I got this.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It
Yeah.
still got that Western attitude sometimes, but she knows her place.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
okay, babe,
Exactly.
I'm stepping out the way. You got this, and that's what I love and I
That's a
respect
good
about my
place to
wife.
be
My
too.
wife knows how
Hmm.
my wife knows how to treat me because I am the real man. When we was dating, this is one thing that let me know I got the right woman. She did something I can't
Mm-hmm.
remember exactly what it was, but I put my foot down when we were dating, and I
Mm-hmm.
heard her
Yeah.
tell her sister, "That's a real man right there." I like that. I
All
like to
right
see that
Yeah.
now.
man take place,
That's a
and that's
real
Yeah.
when I
man. And
realized,
you know,
Yeah.
okay,
it's good to
Father, I
compliment
got the
men
right woman
too.
this time. Say what?
Yeah. It's good. It's good to compliment them. I don't think they get their propers and they don't get it from work. So they at
Hmm.
least should come to their castle and get that from their woman.
and
it's
and that's
very
that's the
few.
main thing right there. We as men, we got so much we got to deal with. We got so much on our back, and
Mm-hmm.
then when we come home to a loud talking woman always yapping at the mouth, that's one
Right.
thing gonna turn us away. It's so much men
Right.
got to
Yeah.
deal with in this world.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got
And
to
men
Right.
come
don't even
home and
realize.
hear our women just yap 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 all the time. No, shut your mouth, go
Right.
sit down, and let me take a break.
Mm.
You understand
Right.
what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Right.
Yeah.
women
And
really don't
This is
A woman
understand
is
what
supposed
men
to
go
be.
through. Women don't
Yeah.
understand
A
what
woman is
men go
supposed.
through. We got a lot on us.
Yeah.
A lot.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
a
And
lot.
you're supposed to come back home to peace. A woman is supposed to be a man's peace.
Yeah.
Straight
Yeah.
up.
Hmm.
Yes.
Period.
Yes.
When he comes
Because
home,
he's the
he's supposed to be
protector. He's
peaceful.
the
You
yeah,
But
drive
he's
the man
carrying the
but
out
heavy
listen,
weight.
thinking that I'm
listen.
coming home now,
Not
coming to a
not
rowdy woman.
not because he is the protector. It's because he's a male, and that's how
Yeah.
we're
Yes.
made. That's how we are made.
Mm-hmm.
Being a protector is just one of the benefits that you
Right.
have in a
Like a
male.
byproduct.
Yeah,
Right.
Mm.
byproduct. So it's just because he's
Right.
a male and the Most High have made him. That's when he had to remind
The
Eve.
head.
When Eve went and did what
Mm.
she
Right.
did, and just like you were saying, young sister, and brought all this on, and then gave it to her husband, and he didn't have to take it, but he did. But if he had never done, y'all mute your mics. If Eve had never done what she done, you still wouldn't have had this, and Adam would have never, and not holding up for Adam, but he never would have took it if she had never did what she did. But because she did, this is why the Most High still had to tell her. Because when she did this, Eve really, after Adam ate, Eve really took on the nature, which is in all of us today, of Hashatan. The Bible
Mm.
says that Hashatan, what caused him to do it because pride was found in him. You got me what I'm saying?
Mm.
And so
Yeah.
now that is what's in Eve. You guys, y'all talk about the man pride, but you guys got more pride than we do. Y'all got
Yeah.
more pride than we do. If you
Yep.
really analyze it
I
and look at it.
agree.
But listen, let me tell you this. This is why Yahuwah had to tell Eve, that Adam shall still rule over you. Even though this didn't
Yeah.
happen, you got this attitude now, you got this way, you think you this and you think you that. No, he shall still rule over you because
Mm-hmm.
that's what the standard was. I mean, that's what he had put forth in the earth. That's what he had put forth. But, we can say certain things. And I thank my son, uh, young DW, for coming and sharing this wisdom. and
Yeah,
saying it
I
just like it is.
appreciate that. I want to hear
You
more
know,
from the men because
yeah,
we
yeah,
women, we can yak.
yeah. Y'all can yap. Y'all yap a whole
I'm
lot.
I'm
But let let
I'm gonna say
And
this. I'm
we
gonna
do
say
want
this
to
right
hear
here
the
too.
man.
let me
I'm
hit.
gonna
Then
say
let
that.
me. When you say this, Don Junior, then I'm gonna have to go to Kia because she been holding her hand up
Okay,
waiting a long time. But go and say what you say.
okay. I'm sorry, but this right here happened to me. A true story. True story. We are putting our children in homeschool little by little. We got six, so it's taking a little time. We're gonna do the rest next year. But I got two in homeschool now. And before that, my second child was in. We put her in homeschool. She was still in school, and the teacher, one of the counselors or something, called me and said that she's doing something on a Chromebook. And so I was headed to taking the baby to her appointment, and when the lady called me, she said that your daughter is looking at stuff on this Chromebook, and we just want to bring it to your attention. And you know, the thing that got me upset with her calling me, it wasn't even nothing bad on the that she was looking at on the Chromebook. I said, out of all the things that these students do at this school, you want to call me for something like this. You want to take time out of my day for some stupid stuff like this. And I just went in. I told them about this school and how I don't like it and how all these I can't even go to this school without these women, these teachers flirting with me all the doggone time. And I get sick of that
Mm,
crap. And I told
right.
I just went in on the woman. And when I got to the school, I told her I'm gonna be coming to the school anyway to enroll my daughter out to put her in homeschool. And when I got there, I had to go in her office. The woman I was talking to, I didn't know who it was, but when I got there, I had to go in her
Mhm.
office, and I felt the spirit coming from her that you in my domain now, so you finna listen to me. And when she did all that, she started trying to raise her voice. I
Mhm.
sat back and spread my legs, took up some space in that room, and that woman
Set
humbled
like a
herself.
man. When he spread, he set like a man set. You know, come on, we finna get on the business now. You know, you women,
Yeah,
y'all when y'all sit, y'all gotta sit, you know, proper and this and that. But when we sit and finna deal with stuff, legs wide open. Let's go at it now. What you say?
yeah.
Mean
And
standing on business.
That's what she
when
saw.
I did that, she humbled herself. You not just because I'm in your place of business, I'm in your office, you still not finna talk to me like I'm just anything. Man, I had all kind of encounters. I had one lady. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna be done. I had one lady. I had to go to some office and where I live at to do some paperwork for one of my other babies. And this woman, they sent us the wrong paperwork, so I go to the office and do everything. And this woman just, I don't know if she having a bad day or what, but everyone in that office was afraid of her until D.W. Page walked in that building. I
All
told this
right
woman,
now.
look, I mean, she was talking to me like I was a child. And I just, before I left, I told her, I said, look here. I said, y'all sent me this wrong paperwork and you got me wasting gas coming up here. But one thing you not gonna do is talk to me like I'm a child. I said, I don't know who you been dealing with all your life, but today you dealing with a real man. And I don't. And she kept
Hallelujah.
trying to talk. This is
Hmm.
what I did. No lie. I said, shut your mouth, you Jezebel. You dealing with a
Woo-wee.
real man. And she
I
shut her
like
mouth.
it.
And on my way out of that office, it was two other women in there. They came to me real quiet. Thank you. And the security guard
They
that was in
probably
there.
wanted to clap,
Thank you,
Yeah,
thank you. We never
give
had
you
this
a
before.
standing
Thank you.
ovation.
yeah. Cause
About time
she had
somebody
all
got with her.
she had all of them afraid of her, and now someone coming there that's a real man gonna stand up to her, and that's why the other women and the security guard one was thanking you because they never had
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the you know the audacity to say anything to her. They never had it. So
yeah,
you good. I'm telling you, y'all.
Yeah.
I don't know about y'all men, but when you go dealing with these page men,
Right.
don't you get in a good man. I mean a good man. We ain't gonna take your crap. We're gonna
Nah,
tell you
yeah,
about your
we
crap, and
And
you
shouldn't.
can
that's the
still
thing.
yap. We just ain't gonna take your crap. Just not going to
Right.
take it. We'll love you the way you need to be loved, but we ain't gonna take your crap because you'll lose
And
that.
that goes for a lot of men. It's a lot of men like that. A lot of men just
Hmm.
they don't want to take the crap. They don't have time for the crap coming from the woman that they're supposed to spend the rest of their life with.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
We are
Mm-hmm.
gonna treat women the way they're supposed to be treated.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
we need that peace when we get home. We need that peace. We need that,
Yes.
baby, whatever you need. If you
Respect.
need time to yourself, take it. If you whatever, get the kids out the way, get the children out the way. We gonna take care of you. That's what
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
men
Right.
need.
All
Men need
right.
that. When they come
Yeah.
home, they don't need to have to deal
Mhm.
with. I know men of old, because I heard my dad talk about it, and some older guys that I used to work with, when they came home, that the women used to just make them go straight to the kids and discipline the kids. We don't need that. When
Yeah.
we
Right.
come home, we need to put our feet up for a minute. Give us time to relax.
Mm.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Unwound.
And
Right.
then
Unwind.
deal with that type
Right.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
That's
My
giving
my
us our
mom
peace.
had dinner on the table ready for my he was gonna get his belly full. She had
And
it
we
ready.
Mm.
and we expect that. And I don't. And you
Yeah.
want women out there, you can say, "Well, that ain't the way it is no more." Well, you ain't gonna get no loyal husband.
Exactly.
You just ain't
Exactly.
gonna get him. You just gonna get whatever
Yes.
you get. And if he bash your brains in, if he talk to you any kind of way, that's what you brought in. That's what you do because you're
Right.
not
Yeah.
doing
You
your part.
settled for.
And don't
Yeah.
tell me. Don't tell me.
Yeah.
Well, honey, can you go do this? I ain't your slave. We get all that
Right.
kind of stuff.
Right.
So this is why people, I don't know about y'all, but I hear people in 30, 20, 30, 40 year marriages divorcing, going apart, and there's no other female or male involved because
Mm.
this crap coming. You know what I mean? This let me get Kia. Y'all mute your mics because this sound back. Let me get Kia because she's been waiting for a while. Thank you for your patience, sister.
Okay, I want to piggyback off two things. First, I want to talk about
Mute
what
your
you
mics
said, that
if you're not talking.
it's people that's been together for 30, 40, 50 years and are getting divorced.
Mm-hmm.
And man, I was having the most beautiful conversation with my son, and he said it perfect. He's only 21. He said, "Ma, a lot of these people are getting into relationships and realizing that they don't even like each other. It's lust first, and then they're trying to get to know each other and realize that they don't like each other." And this goes back to putting the most high first, so you can know who is for you, so you can know your flesh from what's really spiritually for you. But I wanted to also talk about what DW said about our men being faithful. Our men are faithful, and I'm telling you, from as a married woman, our men are faithful. And I wanted to take it to a scripture um, to reiterate on that, because my husband, um, let me read the scripture first. It says,
Let's go.
the heart of her man safely trust her, so that he shall have no need of spoil. She will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. When
Mm-hmm.
I tell you, I thank Father that he already naturally instilled in me to be meek and mild, and he would come and tell me anything. He could tell me anything. He can come and rest. When you come in here, no, you lay out the red carpet for my king, and he sit. It's just, he felt safe with me. And when other women would cut, it's ask my wife first, or let me check with my wife. It was never a thing where he had to feel like he had to put his foot down, because it was always the red carpet rolled out for him. So in return, he would give me that respect. He would put me on a pedestal, so to speak, because I gave him the floor to be the head. He's the head. He's in charge.
Mm-hmm.
Um he's he's I want to say everything, but I don't want to use that word, but y'all get the gist of what I'm saying.
No, but he
if
is
if
And me
if
supposed to
if
be,
if you if
you
you
know,
say
because
me
that's the way
everything,
respecting
the
him.
Most
if
High
Yes.
set it
if
up.
Yes.
Kia, if you say everything, we already know what is the sphere of
No,
that everything. It
exactly.
Yeah.
don't go outside the
Yeah.
Right.
sphere because Yahuwah
In
is
the
it.
realm
So
of the
Yeah.
when
marriage.
you say
Yeah.
he's everything, we know within the sphere of
Yes.
what you're saying, and it's all right to say
Yes.
it.
Yes,
We
and
know.
as a married
Mm-hmm.
We
Yes.
know and we
as a married
understand.
woman,
Yeah.
as a married woman, I'm here to tell you that what you when they first of all, if you're not giving him something to respect, something to really be serious about, number one, the way you dress, your mouth,
Mm,
it goes back to those things. If you're not that submissive type, you're not going to get much in return. It just boils down to
mm,
that. I can honestly say our men are very loyal, and it really goes. We want to say it goes both ways. You get out what you put out, but number one, um, if he went to you less than after you, you're not going to get much of a relationship from that or much respect from that
Let
because
me,
you didn't give much for him to respect.
yeah, and let me say this right
yeah,
here, and then we're gonna go to you, Trudy. Let me say this right here. It's something that y'all guys need to know about men. Men needs to be vulnerable also. That don't say that we are weak, but y'all
yeah,
don't give us much of a chance to be vulnerable.
yeah.
Yeah.
Listen,
Her heart of her man safely
it,
trust in
it,
her so that
come
he
on.
shall have no need of spoil. My bad. Go ahead.
Come on, that's all right. And if we share something with you, we are vulnerable and we share something, with you, because you ain't gonna get much shares from us if you're not showing, because if we share something with you and then just say the next couple of weeks or a month down the line, you get
You
mad and we
feel that.
disagree with something and then you throw that up in my face, what I shared
Use
with you.
it.
Mm,
You will
Hmm.
never
mm,
hear me
They ain't gonna
tell
ever
you
share
nothing
nothing else.
else.
yeah,
I can be in the house with
yeah,
you for the next 20 years and you won't never even know nothing else about me
Mm,
unless you
yeah,
yep.
told me this. Yeah, are y'all
Yep.
yeah,
following me?
Because
And
you became untrustworthy at that point.
yeah,
Because
exactly.
he was vulnerable, and when a man become vulnerable to you, especially about something that they've done wrong, they're pretty much asking for forgiveness.
And y'all don't y'all have and very few men too, but y'all most of y'all have selective hearing. You hear stuff we don't say. You think stuff that we don't mean. Just like I just said. Okay, when we you have to understand if a man become vulnerable with you, okay, let me get him back in here. Listen to what I'm about to tell y'all. If a man become vulnerable with you, guess what he is saying? I love you. I'm
he
in
loves
Yes.
love
you.
with you.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah,
But y'all don't hear that. You know what I'm saying?
mm,
Yes.
Yeah, sometimes
yeah,
you hear weakness.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes.
And that is not what we're saying. But if you
mm,
get a
Yeah.
man, I don't care if it's your husband, your boyfriend, the one you're thinking about, he thinking about you. If he shares some intimate stuff about himself to you and that's telling you that he love you.
he loves.
But if
Mm,
you look at that and hear that as weakness, and then because if you look at it as
You'll
that,
never
then
get it again.
you're not gonna value what he's saying, and you'll
yeah,
never get it again. You'll never get it again. He might even try you one other time, depends on how he is, but you'll never get it again.
yeah,
I promise you.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm,
there are
mhm.
women out there. This is for a man because since y'all think all men, the majority of the women think all men are just dogs. Y'all call us that. They just go to anything they see and this and that. Listen to me for a minute. When a man go to some other woman and this here and that, or just from one woman to another woman, you know what those women are to that man? They are just good time women. They are not wife material. They are
They're
they,
his
they are
piece.
they are good
They're his
time
piece.
women, and they are only for sexual purposes. That's what they're
Yeah,
for.
and
But
they
when
will
he
have it
meet
because
that
they can
woman,
rest their head and they don't
yeah,
have the
right, right,
responsibility. No one's gonna bring up the past. No one's
right.
gonna bring up responsibility. They
Well,
pay to
listen.
lay.
We don't even care if they do bring up the past because we ain't really sharing that to them really that's important to us. So we don't care what they
Mhm.
bring up. We don't care how they fuss. We don't care how they argue. You're for sexual purposes only anyway. Until we meet that one. I'm letting you
Mhm.
into a man's world for a minute.
Yes,
Until we
keep
meet
talking.
that one. She has the heart, the house. She have everything. What is that man is hers too. And there are some that he been with for years, 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 and everything that's his is still his and not hers no more. I'm telling you because he ain't right. And the doors up. So y'all need to, and I'm talking to y'all, not just my panel here, because I think my panel got it together. I hope y'all do. we're,
Absolutely.
we're, we're talking,
All
we're
praises
talking
to
to
the
the
Most High,
listeners and
though.
stuff. And you know what? These comments are somewhat quiet. I take it they're listening, you know,
Yeah.
and instead of trying to give their tutu about it. Because I promise you, this thing is so messed up.
Yes.
Y'all don't know the male, and many males don't know themselves, but it's still in that male, whether he know it or not, to head this thing, to lead this thing. All he needs is just a little bit of information on how he needs to be, and then he gone. But many of you guys, let me tell you something. We're not looking for y'all to change. I'm gonna tell you something very profound now. Just say a man looking for a mature man. He look, he's waiting on a wife or this here and that. We're not looking for y'all to change. Okay, you might have been a loud woman or good time woman, going out woman. Need y'all to hear me now. We don't,
Yeah.
we don't, we're not, we don't want y'all to change. Some immature
You want us
man
to be ready?
might require that. You're gonna have to be that way already.
Yep.
This is what's
Yeah.
gonna have to be you. Okay,
Yeah.
this woman loves going out, partying, this here and that, and this and that. We ain't looking for a woman that love to do that to change. I speak for myself. I want a woman that have don't do that, ain't interested in it, it's already in her what she is to love.
Mhm.
Because anything you have to change from, not in every case, anything you have to change from has the potential to come back.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You see, when
Right.
you get under stress,
Yes.
okay, just say you was a
Mm.
alcoholic, you was a drinker, okay, you didn't stop drinking. But now, and you have met this man, and you have gotten married or whatever, and okay, things are not, that's some problems in here and there, and y'all in a little bit of disagreements and stuff, and you might not can handle it. So I need to calm my nerves and this and that, and you don't need to go back to drinking, but you'll take a sip and then you're off the wagon again. That's what I mean by things that you have to change from has the potential to come back again when they're under some pressure. Now, I'm not
Right.
saying that women like that or even men like that to never supposed to be given a chance. I'm just telling you what we prefer. We prefer that thing is never in you to change.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You understand me what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yes.
I want to make this here clear too.
Yeah.
I want to make this here clear too because I'm trying to be both ways about it, both sides. Now, there could have been some things that you done in your past. That doesn't mean that you was that thing. Y'all feel me now? So you're really
Yes.
not changing from this to that just because you done this. You
Mm-hmm.
was you participate in that doesn't mean that you was that person.
You graduated. You went to another
No,
level.
not so much you graduated. You was doing some things because sin is in the earth. Sin
Yes,
is
it
in our
is.
realm. So you was doing just like what Paul said in Romans 7. That which I didn't want to do, I end up doing. That which
Mm-hmm.
I wanted
Mhm.
to do, I couldn't do it. Why? Because sin was in me. So Paul was
Right.
never wanting to be what he was doing. He was never that. He was never that
Right.
what he was
Yeah.
doing. And we have to
Right.
understand that too. But some men just prefer, that you don't have to change, you already this. And some men know that if you was practicing this, you was never that. If it makes any sense to you. Is it making any
Mm-hmm.
sense to
Yeah.
y'all? If it makes sense
Yes.
to you
Yeah.
all in the comments, give me a thumb up of what I'm talking about now. And you people that is on YouTube, please like and share this. And you can share it for Facebook too. But if you hear and understand what I'm saying, just give me a thumbs up in that comment section. Because we're trying to help us. We're trying to help us.
Yeah, we
That's
have to
all.
have
We're
these
trying to
Yeah.
help us.
discussions. Yeah, this
And
is
just
how we
like
learn.
and just like Jerry, with your young daughter sitting there, you need to hear these things. Because so
Yes.
many marriages have,
Mhm.
they go for a while, and everything is lovey dovey, and you just hear the birds whistling and the butterflies in your stomach. But if you don't know the things that you need to know in this time, all that can come to an abrupt end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can come
Hmm.
to an abrupt end. And you
Yeah.
just two people in the house then. I'm telling you, you're
Right.
just two people in the house then. There's no
Mm.
Right.
affection, there's no love. Oh, there might be some conversation, but it ain't meaningful, you know,
Yeah.
Mm.
because you have
Mm.
just clocked out.
Yes.
Hmm.
Because
Yes.
continual things that's been practiced in the past, and now it's too late to change, you're fired. You might be still coming to the plant, but you're fired. You might be still
Also,
coming to the office, but you're fired. And you don't even know it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much to think about. Who had the hands? I think it's you, Kia. You.
yeah, a lot of people
We
don't
lost
realize
Trudy.
that it takes a long time to get to know someone. Like,
Hmm.
and you never really get to know somebody. Like, you have to constantly grow with a person. You could be 60
Mm.
years old and that person is still evolving, still changing. So that's what
Yes.
makes
Hmm.
things new
Yes.
is you're realizing that I have to
Hmm.
grow with this person. I have to continuously get to know this person. I have to, continuously keep things new. And um
Yes.
I was something else I was about to say. I totally forgot, y'all. I'm sorry. I forgot what I
No,
was about
you
to
on the
say.
right
Go ahead.
track.
That
You
was
you on a
it.
roll with that, Kia.
Yeah, I mean, you're
But yeah,
constantly
You have
yeah.
to
growing.
evolve
Yeah.
because it requires it. Life requires that. The more information you get, the more knowledge, more growth, more wisdom, and as we grow in grace and knowledge and favor, we will change, but we're changing for the better. We're not changing for the worse.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what it was.
We got
Oh,
your back, Trudy.
Oh,
so our women need to learn how to be prudent. Prudence with us is everything. Like, we don't want to constantly have our men on patrol because of how we dress, and now they
That's
think they
true.
have
Right.
yeah.
to um guard us and shield us because we don't know how to dress. We
Yes.
have to understand that it's not an insecurity in a man for him to want his woman
Mm.
to cover up. We
Yeah.
think
Yes.
that we have to be seen by everyone. No, that's just for our men. Prudence is
Yeah.
Yeah.
everything with the respect to our men and
And
showing
modesty.
him that
Yes.
respect and that kindness that he doesn't have to worry about us. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
that's a service that we
Right.
Mm.
do them.
Let me
Right.
confirm
Even
Yeah.
this. Let me confirm what you
Um.
just said here. If you do a deeper dive into the study about, the angels look down on the daughters of men, and they came down and had sex with
Yes.
them or whatever. You got to do a deeper dive in that. Look at here.
Wow.
Those angels, or those benin, I think they call them, the sons of Yahuwah. Not the
Yeah.
son, but our father's a family man, and they was called the benins or something like that. But anyway, the women started that because they was dressing
Yeah.
so provocative, and the ones that the Most High
Yeah.
gave to watch over you, you appealing even to them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mm.
Let me share something to you about most men. There's some younger men, but really mature men. They don't care about all your snuffleupagus stuff. We don't care about that stuff. You look like snuffleupagus. You know what I'm saying? You look like sometimes a painted house with a fresh coat of paint on it on your face. You got all
Yeah. Being
this,
all seductive.
yeah, seductive. You got all this Gentile hair, and you black woman. You got all this
Yes.
Gentile hair in your head. You know what I'm saying? We don't care nothing for that. We want our daughters of Zion natural as they can possibly be. We love
Absolutely.
that original. We love that. But when you all dolled up, your skirt is up on your, almost up where you can't pull it down no longer. You know what I'm saying? Look here, and your breast. I'm being real. I'm telling you, all
Yes.
this showing and all this cleavage showing. It can come down
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
for a little bit, sexy looking woman, and yeah, but we know when you're advertising more than for us.
Yeah.
Right.
We know when
Right.
you're doing that more than for us, and you just
Mm-hmm.
this is what Isaiah, and I was going to read that. Isaiah, the third chapter, talks about the daughter of Zion, how you are. You're twinkling with your feet and you're mincing in the way you walk sometimes. You put on them high heels, and my
Mm-hmm.
father, there y'all go, boom, ga, boom, ga, boom, ga, boom. With your little, taking your little short steps and all this kind of stuff. Y'all doing that more for us, because when you get home with it, you look like Bozo.
Take it right off as soon as you get
But
home.
when you're out, say again, baby.
I was saying they take it right off as soon as they get home, which means they weren't really doing it for themselves, because when
They
they're in
Yeah.
wasn't
their
doing it
All
for
they
own
mean.
us.
skin.
They wasn't doing it for
Yeah.
Yeah.
us. Y'all were doing it to be
Mm-hmm.
admired by others. Search
Yeah.
yourself.
Right.
You want other women to see you. Look
For
at me.
attention.
Attention.
Right.
Look at
Mm.
me.
And the
Yeah.
truth be told, that's why y'all do it. I mean,
Mm.
the daughters of Yahuwah.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all hear me when I say this. The daughters of Yahuwah. I ain't talking about no other nations, no nothing. Because the scriptures even talk about, even Jacob, one daughter that he had. Y'all don't know how beautiful y'all are. And you don't need all that other stuff. That's just insecurity in yourself.
No.
I understand you want to just. I ain't talking about being no apostolic. You don't wear no makeup, no jewelry. I'm not even talking about that. I'm not even talking about that. But what I'm saying is that the daughters of Yahuwah is the most beautiful women on the earth, on the planet. Y'all just don't know it. Y'all just
Mm-hmm.
don't know it. And the most, and I'm just telling you just like it is, because and the most finest there is on the earth. That's when these colonizers desire you and all this kind of stuff. And then we haven't given you the attention that we need to give you, because we've been knocked down. So there you go, looking at him,
Yeah.
that colonizer,
Right.
knowing that it is
Right.
Yeah.
just totally forbidden. Your
Mm-hmm.
your husband ain't white, is a child.
No.
No. No. I ain't having it.
Listen to them.
And look, and look, but look, they can have the attitude. They can have the attitude, Jerry. Well, you don't tell me. Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Yes, we do. And somebody spoke about, because our nation, our culture have far left this. Was
Mm-hmm.
always up to us to choose our sons' wives.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was always up to us. Well, yeah, you
Yeah.
don't have no right, Daddy, to choose. Yahuwah chose us. Abraham told his
Choose.
servant, "Go get
Yes.
my son a wife and
Yes.
get her from among our people."
Our
Our.
people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Amen.
our patriarchal fathers knew what Yahuwah wanted. Didn't want us going
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
outside. Didn't want us going
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
outside. You know what I mean? And so, but a lot of that stuff is happening today. But I'm just sharing with y'all how we want y'all, how we look at y'all. I'm
Right.
just
Yeah.
telling y'all, y'all are the
Appreciate
most
that.
beautiful creatures on the earth. But many of y'all don't
Wow.
know it. That's when you gotta
Right.
fix up
Yeah,
and pull
yeah,
up and tap up and whatever else up. You don't have to have it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need it. You're beautiful just like you
Right.
are. You're,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Because it's supposed to permeate from the inside
Yeah.
out. What is in you is supposed to be coming out of you. You don't need the
yeah,
Yeah.
extra. Like if you
you
have
don't
the
need it.
Ruach HaKodesh in you,
Yeah,
aka Holy Spirit, then
yeah.
it should reflect. You should carry yourself in such a manner that it's easy for anyone to see.
Telling you, man.
Because you can
I'm telling
be
you.
beauty by the American standard beauty, but you are wretched inside, and it just counteracts that beauty.
Of course,
Yeah. Yeah.
counteracts it.
yeah,
Father help us.
man, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. That's why I said to my son, my wife fine and she all mine. We live life with no stress.
All right now.
Yes, yes,
She's a
yes,
hey, she a beautiful woman.
yes,
She's
And
mine and she
I
all
appreciate
mine.
mine. Yeah, she all mine.
Okay.
And
Yes,
yes,
I'm telling
I
you,
joke with
man.
her
yes,
sometimes.
yes,
I joke with her sometimes when she getting ready to go to work. I be like, hey, that's them pants a little too tight now. But I know
yeah.
that my wife is faithful. But the thing is that
yeah,
Amen.
when we out and I see other guys looking at my wife, I'm like, yep, she mine. But that
Ah,
brings me
yeah,
joy because somebody else looking at her. They see it too.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? But
yes,
I love my
yeah,
wife, man.
yes,
My wife,
yeah. She's
she
a
holds
good
it
guy.
down. See, I work from home, and me and my dad, we don't have to go to a per se factory, but my wife does, and
mhm,
she come home. So hey, we've been married. I think 18, 19 years, and I don't
mhm.
have to wash
Wow.
dishes, wash clothes, do none of that stuff. She take care of all that. I don't even have to cook
Yeah,
unless I just want to. She come home from
Mm,
work
yeah,
and she take care of the house like she's supposed to. Some days she tired and don't feel like
yeah,
it, baby, sit down. We're gonna be all right. These children go eat
yeah,
them a sandwich or something. They'll be all right. You ain't gotta do
Yes.
nothing. But
yes,
some days, hey, she
yes.
come
yeah,
home, she
And
does
you
it.
know,
She
you in tune
working
to her. You
10,
know
12
when to
hours a day.
give her a break. Mhm.
Yeah, she work 10, 12 hours a day. She come home and she don't feel like it. Sometimes you ain't got to. But she's like I say, she
Right,
knows her
yeah,
place.
Let me tell you
And that's
something,
what
right.
I
yeah,
man.
admire about my wife.
My
Yeah.
daughter-in-law is
yeah,
Yes,
so
you got a good one. You
what
found a
DW
good
is
thing.
saying. My daughter-in-law is so what DW is saying, and until I've talked to her and told her myself, I appreciate you being the
Yes.
kind of wife that you are to my only begotten son.
Ah,
yeah,
I
yeah,
appreciate you being like this and being a true
that's
mother
beautiful.
to your children, to my
Yes,
grandchildren. You know,
yeah,
yes.
now if you mess around and piss her off a little bit, you know, you'll have something to deal with Allison. And I told her this. I said, baby, listen at me now. You listen at Dad. You listen at me. I said, don't lose it one day. Cause I know y'all women, y'all could lose it. Y'all will have these blank outs and then you'll be sorry for it later. I said, please, baby, don't you lose it and you mess
Yeah.
around and kill my only begotten son. And then be sorry for it later. And she's like, I hear
yeah,
you, Dad. I ain't gonna do that, Dad. I ain't gonna do that. You better not do it.
She loves her husband.
yeah,
She loves it.
yeah,
I mean, y'all can love, but y'all will do something. Y'all can't hold it
Yeah.
together. You lose it. You know, you watch that
Yeah.
show Snap. Y'all will snap.
Crackle
Snap,
pop.
crackle,
Yeah.
pop.
Say that again,
yeah.
Judy.
Yeah.
Now,
Snap, crackle, pop.
I know
Nice and
hey,
popular.
if he was in here, he would tell you. He'd be like, "What's wrong with you today? Like, who is this? Where you
Yeah.
come from?"
Yeah. I'm telling you, you had to
He'll
do an
tell you, you need to
exorcism.
go pray. You need to
Hey,
go pray. You
Donald,
need to go teach
Donald,
you rule.
Donald, you have to do an exorcism on them. They sitting on the head with their head spinning around.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
But the Ruach
you
will
know
correct
you have
you.
good days, you have
I
your
have
bad
to say,
days. No,
Yeah.
yes,
go ahead,
the
True. I'm
Ruach
sorry.
will show you though,
Mm-hmm.
and you will start feeling like, dang, why did I do that? Like
Yeah.
I shouldn't have said. I shouldn't have acted
Yeah.
that way. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Ruach Hakuna will correct you quickly. It don't
Yeah.
take long for it to show.
It don't. And
You
see, and
have
that's
to
the
a little
thing.
bit extra special to show her apology. I'm not talking about
Yeah.
myself. I can only
And
talk about.
yeah, and
Them.
that's how my daughter-in-law is. I mean, she love her husband and she love her children, and I appreciate that. And I tell her that all the time. You know, a lot of the times
Mhm.
I show my appreciation because shoot, that's my seed. You know, that's my
That's
seed.
right.
And
yeah,
but she, boy, she love them children, and she love her husband. She love her
Yes.
husband.
yeah.
It's
That's
important.
why.
It's important. And we have to be shown this. And the problem that I'm seeing in today's society is that we women, even we as sisters on here, we have to not have a problem or be afraid to correct a woman that's in her wrong,
Mm-hmm.
even if
Right.
she admits her wrongdoing.
Yeah.
Uh-uh.
Yeah.
You think you should have said that to him? We can't be. And another thing, we can't be. Oh, my girlfriends. Oh, my girlfriends come first. No, they don't.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
No, you
Mm-mm.
don't.
And then you taking advice from women who ain't got a husband. Now,
Right.
what they do?
Right.
What they
Mhm.
do?
Right.
Yeah.
Or
That's
you
not
think
unwise.
that you know
See
whose
that
mama was
that's what we need. We need those mothers like you, Trudy. That's what we missing in this generation. We need those
look,
mothers. See, a lot of these older women these days, they out looking for the young men like their daughters are. They
They
dressing like their
they
compete.
daughters, but
trying
we
to
They
need those
live
compete.
mothers
their
like
They
you.
life.
they, they, they are competing with their daughter. They want to go to the club with their
Yeah,
daughter. You know,
Oh
all
Yeah.
this
my
stuff don't
goodness.
work here, man. I mean, uh, uh,
Mhm.
uh, we have to wake up. Our women have to wake up. Our men have to wake up.
Yes.
Just don't be excited about Yahuah, Yahushua, and this and that, and you're not
Right.
allowing them to change you on the
Mm.
Yeah.
inside.
Yeah.
That must be a profound change that take place on the
Get
inside
it
of us
together.
when we come into the
I'm
awakening.
Yeah.
telling you.
you're
You
so
know, and
right, man of y'all. When I tell you that, like where I'm from, it's Sodom and Gomorrah.
yeah.
Mm.
And everybody knows everybody. It's a small town, where everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in Florida, so it's a small
Mm-hmm.
town. Everybody knows everybody, or we're related or something. And the
Mm-hmm.
problem really is in these churches.
Yes. Mm.
Mm-hmm.
You have pastors up there downgrading the woman. So then, guess what?
Mm-hmm.
She don't feel like she's even worthy enough now to go and talk to the man. Because then the
Mm.
mothers of the church ain't telling the truth. Oh, you may have 10 kids, but they not all got the same daddy. But now you downgrading this sister who all her baby fathers are different.
Yeah, and the churches is also letting them. You go out, you out partying all night long. You just slept with
And
Tom, Dick,
come
and
Yes.
in
Harry, and his brother, and then you can come get in the crowd stand and sing, and they allowing that.
exactly, sit down
And
Yes.
somewhere, take
there's
a
Yes.
couple
no
of seats.
there's no correction
Yep.
coming from the so-called leaders, and there's no
None.
mothers.
Yeah.
There's
Homosexual in
very
the
few
pulpit.
mothers of Zion.
In
Where
the
they at?
Yeah.
choir.
Where are
They
they
in the
at?
choir with all of that. They don't sit people
Mm.
down. They in the choir. They're
You're right,
homosexuals singing
yeah.
their heart
You're
out.
right.
Yeah, it's acceptable. It's like do as you please. Just keep that money coming, honey.
But
Yeah,
the
yeah.
reason why is because we have no true direction. Which Peter, they
Yeah.
love to say, oh, well, not Peter, but Paul. They love to talk about Paul, but what they don't realize, Paul was correcting the churches in their wrongdoing. He never told them don't follow the
Yeah.
Torah. He told them to follow it with love and kindness. That goes back to the mothers of the church
Yeah.
may have all these baby dads, but they not telling it, but they scorning the woman
Yeah,
who does.
yeah,
That's what he was trying
yeah,
to teach
Right.
them. But they got, oh no, he doesn't
yeah.
want us to follow the law. No, because he said, I will follow the law.
Come on, come
So
on,
we have to get to
Yeah.
understand it's more than just wearing a dress and putting on some bra and panties.
come on, sisters. Talk it, talk
It's
Tell
it.
not
it.
for today
Tell it.
Mm.
because it's
Yeah.
a spiritual warfare. Every
Mm-hmm.
It
woman
is.
in the
It
Mm.
really
Bible
is.
had spiritual warfare, starting
Mm-hmm.
within
Yep.
themselves, allowing Yahushua Hayimashai, like the woman at the
Ha.
well.
Come on.
Mm.
And we got to stop taking a little bit and saying, well, if the man do this, well, the woman can sanctify her husband.
Mm.
So if you are diligently seeking him, praying, fasting, weeping and wailing, standing in your
Yeah.
doorpost, praying and bounding, what is ever loosed in heaven is loosed on earth. Whatever is bound in heaven is bound in heaven. So we have to get back on
Yes.
being warriors for Yahuwah,
Very.
Yes.
fighting
Yes.
for our men,
Hallelujah.
because the church ain't doing it. See, he's calling us to do these things, to say, you know what? I have to make sure my husband's clothes are clean. I
Yeah.
have to make sure, because everybody should not be cooking for your husband.
Well,
Period.
the church is not doing it because it wasn't given never to the church to do it. The church is actually a young organization that was never sanctioned by our Father Yahuwah, neither by
It was by
Yahusha. It was never sanctioned by it.
Constantine,
It
by
came through
Constantine.
Constantine and the Pope and all these kind of people, and they replaced. I was listening at a little a clip that Ben Israel. That's his name, ain't it? Ben Israel. Ben Israel did. And he was talking about, he came and told about the origins of Christianity and all that kind of stuff, and how the Pope, they brought that in and stuff to demand our people to take it and to go with Christianity and to control them. But it was never a thing. So they can never solve the problems that Yasharel needs solving, because it's not our institution, it's not our organization, it's a pagan
Exactly.
organization, and that's
Exactly.
why the pagans can operate in it. It was always designed to bring you into captivity and to control you. Yeah,
Yes.
Christian folk, the church,
Yes.
and
Yes.
and so many people are going to be led into the belly of the beast by way
Yes.
of the Christian church.
Mm.
And they
Yes.
can't realize this. They don't understand this, but they want to set up and argue and stuff about it. And our daughters are in it. Our men are in it. And it's just time to sound the alarm about this stuff, because so many of us are being led in the belly of the beast. Because that's what Christianity leads you to, the anti-Messiah.
I
And
just
The
that
put
is
my
so
phone
anti-Messiah.
on mute to explain the
Huh?
exact same thing that you said to my daughter. Did I not?
Really?
I
Really?
explained the exact same thing. I put on mute and I explained it. I said every religion it was created by a white man, and that's
Mm-hmm.
all, like an institution to pretty
Mm-hmm.
much control us and pass it down. I said every
That's all.
holiday is surrounded by a pagan, false deity, and
yes,
it's
it
always a
is.
lie attached to it. Easter,
Mm-hmm.
the bunny, Christmas,
Everything.
Santa Claus, all of it is a false deity that they are
All of it.
serving, and they can't get out of it
Yeah. And
because
so
they
our
in bed
people,
with Christianity.
yeah, so
It's
our
Christian
people,
insanity.
they use Christianity to entrap, control, manipulate, and
Yep.
colonize our people. And
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
so now we're saying everything we say, oh, GOD, which is pagan names. And all we have to
Mm.
do is just
It's not
go
even
to the
Hebrew
book.
names.
Let me look this here up. Let me show y'all something. Let me look this here up.
Yeah.
Oh shoot. Let me just show you something.
I gotta go,
Mm.
y'all. I'll see y'all
All
later.
right.
I appreciate you,
Shalom.
Okay.
sister.
Hi, Grace.
Thank
Hey,
you. I
shalom, y'all.
appreciate you.
Okay, bye.
Shalom.
Shalom,
Shalom.
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 Okay, I think it's Hosea 6, and is it verse 4? Let me see. No,
I'm gonna get
where
my
is this?
phone.
Where is it in Hosea that he said that you will no longer call me Baal or Baal? Is it Hosea 6 or Hosea 16?
I'm gonna give it to you. It is Hosea. I just was reading it in my. Hosea. Where is it?
Hosea 2:16.
Yeah, maybe it's that. Okay, maybe it's that.
Read it. Read it,
All right,
DW.
this is what it says. Go ahead. Okay, I was gonna put it on the screen here.
Oh, I see.
Uh Hosea 2:16.
Mm-hmm.
I'm scrolling to it. Hold on, I'm scrolling to it.
I think that's the one you want.
Let me
I
see.
guess
Yes,
so.
yes, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Let me put this on the screen, and I'm gonna read it to you out of the Septuagint. Let me see, can I put it on the screen so everyone can
Yep.
see it?
2:16 and 17.
Yeah. Okay. iPad. Where my iPad
Okay.
at? I'll tell you. Okay, look at this here verse, y'all. Look at this verse. It says, "And it shall come to pass in that day, saith Yahuah, that she shall call me my husband." One translation says Yashi, meaning salvation. You know what I'm saying? Or something to that effect.
Mm.
And shall no longer call me Balaam. And I
Mm.
Mm,
will. See, Balaam means Lord. Every time we say, and the
Right.
yes.
Lord this, and the Lord that, you're calling him
Yep.
Balaam. And he said, it's going
Yeah.
to come a day where you're going to stop all this.
Well, can you
You just,
repeat
Yeah.
that? Can you
yeah,
repeat that? My daughter just
yeah.
went to get
Oh,
something
oh,
to drink, but she'll
oh,
be
she's
right back.
back.
I want her to. No,
Is she
I'm gonna
back?
put it
I
in
want her to
the
hear
verse
what
in
you
the.
have to say.
Okay,
I'm gonna put
good
the verse
deal.
also in here
All
in
right.
the chat.
Let me get
She's
Kia out.
back now. Can you repeat that?
Uh-oh, hold on. Hold on. Let me get you back here. Well, you in here.
I'm not in there anymore.
I took you. Hold on.
I
So
see
that's
him.
Hosea 2:16 through 17.
Yeah, I want him to repeat what he just said.
Hold on. You can read it to her while I try to. Man, I tell you, I get so sick of this darn thing.
And it shall be in that day, saith Yahuwah, she shall call me Ishi, which is my husband, and she
There he is.
shall
I
no
got your
more
back.
call me master, which is Beli. And I shall take away the names of Balaam from the mouth of her, from out of her mouth, and no more shall she remember their name.
That's what I'm saying about these false mighty ones, these Elohims. See, some people even call Allure Elohim, which
Mhm.
Elohim means a
Many
mighty
mighty
one.
ones.
Many mighty
Yeah.
Elohim means a mighty one.
Yeah.
Elohims is plural. The word is plural. And you can even look up in Genesis the root word where it says, and God created the heavens and the earth. You can even look up that, and that means plural. God,
Mm-hmm.
it means two or more. It's plural in the Hebrew, right?
Mhm.
But our
Yeah.
Allure, which is Yahuwah, he says, I'm one. I'm
He's
one.
I'm
one.
one.
He's one.
So if
One.
he's God, then how is he one when that word is plural in the Hebrew?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It means many
Yeah.
mighty ones. And he said, I'm
Other
Yeah.
day.
one. And our
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
people,
Mm-hmm.
they
Mm-hmm.
did it right when the white man said it right when he said, if you want to hide anything from black people, just put it in a book.
Right.
But we
Yeah.
won't we won't study, we
Mhm.
won't read.
Right.
We just want to
Got
go
to
by
study it
everything
right
that they say.
beside the
And this is
word.
why they still want to teach us. I don't want to go that way
Right.
today because I want to give them a little
Right.
break. But
Right.
sometimes
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right.
it go that way.
Right.
Sometimes it go that way.
Right.
So
Right. Mm-hmm.
our people need to wake up.
We
Yeah.
do.
Our people
We
needs to
do.
wake up.
Right.
And we need to
Yeah.
start
Right.
teaching our daughters how
Right.
to be young girls, not to be
Yeah.
teenagers when they're 4.
Right.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Man,
They got
Yes.
dresses
Working and all
on.
of
yeah.
that
My daughter in
stuff.
school, they were saying, "Oh my gosh!" I went to the office and I homeschool, but she just decided she wanted to go back. She's in the ninth grade, so she said, "Mom, the teacher, when she was in the 8th grade, she went back. So they were like, your daughter dresses so nice." And I was like, well, I let her dress according to her age. I
Hmm.
don't put
Yes.
her
Yeah.
out. If I have to take an outfit and add material to it, that's why
Hmm.
we need to be the soul ladies. It talks about that being
Yep.
with your hands, Proverbs
Yeah.
Yes.
31,
Come
how to
on.
Yes.
Come
sew.
on.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
her skirt too short, I'll add a ruffle to it. Something's like this, I'll put something to cover her cleavage. We as women have to teach our children and start letting social
Yeah.
media, these
Mm-hmm.
Instagram models, these so-called
Yeah.
dirty red. Is that her name?
Yeah.
What's the girl? Is it Dirty Red?
That's
The
sexy
rap.
red. Sexy
Right.
red.
Sexy red.
Sexy red.
She
They
should
put
not
these.
be an example.
Love
They don't even
that.
monitor. Mothers don't even monitor what their children listen to. We put an iPhone in their hand, a cell phone in their hand, and we let them teach our children.
Yep. Yep.
We
Hmm.
have to stop this,
That's true.
ladies, because we are training our daughters to be Jezebels.
Yeah.
Come
Exactly.
on. Come on, Trudy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We're
When
teaching
I
our
was
daughters
raising
to
my
be a
kids, I
succubus.
made them put
A
their
succubus.
phones on the
Hmm.
table. Unlock. I will have I get to see what everything that goes on. Didn't I make y'all put your
Right.
phones on the table?
And even young girls, even
Mm-hmm.
not ours,
Yep.
we have to
And now
teach them
they
and
introducing
succubus. You don't
drugs
got
to
to, oh, he
young
got to do
kids.
this and he got to do, oh, where the money at first?
Hey, y'all keep
Right.
Like, come
talking. Y'all
on, the man
excuse me.
takes care of
Y'all,
us, but we have to stop being succubus,
y'all
teaching them,
keep
don't be a
talking.
succubus, be a one of
Y'all, y'all excuse me for 1 minute. Just keep talking. I'll be right back. Right back.
All right. Nowadays,
because
the young
we've
girls
fallen
are
so short on things that Yahuwah, first of all, We don't teach, like I said, the way we dress. We have to show our daughters how to dress by the way we carry ourselves.
Exactly.
Like my daughter
Exactly.
says,
That's
Mommy,
true.
why do you have your head covered? I explained to her, well, when anytime a woman is to prophesy and pray, we cover our heads. And our
Mm-hmm.
husband is also our covering.
Out covering.
But
Yeah.
this is what
Yeah.
Paul was teaching the church of Corinth.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, cover your heads. Your husband is your head. We're not supposed to put a razor to our heads. We're not even supposed to wear atonement of other women. That's putting weave on our heads. There's so
Yes.
many
Mm.
things that
Yes.
we're not supposed to do, but we allow it.
Yeah, because
Mm.
they have spirits. Those hair carry different
It does.
spirits. And yeah, yeah, we have to be very, very careful about that. And then they pray over the hair too.
Mm.
And it's a lot of wickedness attached to the hair. So we definitely,
Samson and Delilah.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
We have
Samson
to.
and
I'm gonna come back. I can't hear. I'm gonna come back and
Delilah.
come back in. Something's went wrong
All
with my.
right, right.
Let's see here.
So, modesty starts at the home. And if you have a modest woman, she can teach your children to be modest. And you have to monitor what the children do, because the world is going to teach them to do opposite of what you're teaching them. They want us to continue to sin. That's why they put the liquor stores in our community. They drop the drugs in our community. They put the prostitutes, the homosexuality,
Huh?
the pornography. All of that sin is
Got your
designed to
back,
keep
Trudy.
us from our greatness.
Hmm.
It's designed to keep us in sin, which keeps us down and them up. When we stop sinning, then we're winning,
And to keep us serving Baal.
and keep us serving Baal.
Mm.
Yeah, to keep us serving Baal. And
Yeah.
I'm telling
Yeah,
you,
and
I just can't wait, until our people become fully awake and come into the awakening. You know what? Now, I have a
Um.
version. I have this commentary up. And I'm surprised that this commentary even say this right here. Even when it says my husband, but it says this. It says, and it shall let me let y'all see this. I got to let y'all see
okay.
this right here. Let me get it back up here.
Um.
All right, now go ahead.
I
She got
need
a
to be
question?
going.
Go ahead. Go ahead, sister.
No. I'm gonna see you guys. I need to go. It
You
was
need to
nice
go.
being with
All
you.
right.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right.
Mm,
We thank you for being with us. Thank you for all your
Okay.
comments and everything. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you,
all
Okay.
Sister
right.
Sue
Shalom.
Shalom.
Yahoo.
Shalom.
And thank
All
you for
right.
yesterday. She was my back yesterday, boy.
Yes, she did a good job.
Yeah. Yeah, but look at this here. Look at
Love
this
you,
right here.
sweetheart.
Hosea 2:16 again. It says,
Yes.
and it shall be at that day, says Yahuwah, and of course it has Lord, right? It says that thou shalt call me Ishi, but shall call me no more Bali. Now, of course, in the Septuagint it says Ishi means husband, and it gonna says Bali means master or Baal. In other words, God is saying you'll no longer address me as a false god because you'll know me intimately. And it's still not explaining it in the full way. You know what I mean? This comes just still not full in the same way because it's kind of like contradicting itself. And we
Yeah.
just don't
Mm-hmm.
know these things. Just go do an
Mhm.
etymological study up on the word Lord. Just go do an
Mm-hmm.
etymological study up on the word God. I mean, you can just get your computer and just like that software that I shared with you, Jerry. You can just
Yeah.
get your computer and go to one
Hmm.
of the Bible in there and just click on left click on the word God. God. It'll
Right.
give you.
Right.
It'll let you know that that word is plural. But
Mm.
our Father says He's one. He's
Yes.
one.
Yes. Yeah.
So God means in a host of them, two or more
Right.
deities, and we are not to
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
worship in it. That's one of the commandments. Thou
Yeah.
shalt have
First.
And
Yahuwah
no great
only.
and mighty.
I'm
That's
telling you,
right.
man. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
So Our people are waking up, but they need to wake up a little faster. And and uh
Right.
uh Junior Jerry, I hope you hearing this, baby. Hear
I
this,
am.
because the stuff that your mother been sharing with you for years, it is so. She ain't crazy. She ain't in no cult. She's not out of her mind. She have just simply come into the truth. The
Yep.
truth.
Mhm.
And the
You know.
truth is that, and man of Yah, I don't mean to cut you. I always tell people, go look at Deuteronomy 28 chapter, starting at the 14th verse, and compare American so-called history to that scripture to
Yeah.
find out what.
And I tell them like this right here, Trudy. I said, if you read Deuteronomy 28, 14, 15, on down to 68, it fits no other group of people in the world
I
except
tell
us.
What
people to read that all the time and they do not read it. I've been telling people for the longest. I mean, can we just read like a couple
Oh,
of verses out of
I,
that?
I, I
Because
will, but this is the reason why they won't read it. Hosea 4 and 6 says, my people perish because of lack of knowledge. And then he says, why we don't have that knowledge, because let me read that first. Let me read that one first. Okay. Hosea 4 and 6. And it tells us why we don't have the knowledge that we need. Hosea
Mhm.
4, verse 6. Very familiar. It says, my people. Let me put it on the screen so you can see this. Because I'm telling you, it's time for us to come out of this willful ignorance. Can y'all see that?
Yeah.
It says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Why? Why we don't have knowledge? The very B part of that verse says, because thou hast rejected knowledge. You don't want
Rejected.
the truth. You don't want the truth. You hear this stuff, but you reject it. You reject knowledge. And then he said, I will
in that
also reject thee,
You.
that thou be no priest unto me, seeing that thou
Mhm.
hast forgotten the law of Allure. I will also
Mhm.
forget your children. Now, why is he going to forget our
Mhm.
children? Why is he going to forget your
Mhm.
children? Because you reject the knowledge, and so you won't have what you need to teach your children, so you leave him no other choice but to reject them too, because they ain't going to have the
Right.
knowledge. They get it through
Hallelujah.
us, you see. Now,
Hallelujah.
let's go to Deuteronomy. Man, this thing done turned into something else.
This
one.
good. Like my,
Deuteronomy.
my, my cousin used to say, it's getting gooder and gooder.
Yeah, yeah. Gooder and gooder. All right, now look I'm gonna read verse 14 first. It says,
Okay.
and thou shalt not go outside from any of the words which I command you. He's talking to us, his people. I
Mhm.
don't care what white people say. I don't care what other black people say, that is Hamites, Esau. He's talking to his 12 tribes. He's talking to his chosen, and we just happen to be that. How come that's so
Mhm.
hard for us
Maybe
to
the
believe?
Lord.
Because we're looking, and the reason why we can read this book and still don't see the things that I'm fixing to point out to you, because we've been trained, brought up, reared in to read it through the eyes of Christianity, and you'll never
The
see the
truth.
truth then.
The truth. That is the
Christianity
truth.
is the blindfolds of seeing the truth, and
That's
we'll never
right.
see it. But let me read this. It says, "But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of Yahuah thy allure." And I'm changing this stuff, Lord, and all that. You hear me? To
Hmm.
observe, to do all his commandments. If you don't hear me, he says, and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee, right? And
Yep.
overtake thee. Let's see what the curses are and see who it fits. He says, curse shall thou be in the city, and curse shall thou be in the field. Meaning it don't make no difference what you put your hand to. Ain't nothing gonna
That's
work for
right.
you. And just because 5 of you out of 1,000 might have it going on, don't mean a thing. You still curse somewhere. Because if you if,
Mm-hmm.
if if you got $1 billion, hey, they'll love you, play up to you. But in reality, down in their rocket, so you're still a nigga.
That's
You
right.
just a rich one.
Yep.
Hmm.
Now,
And
who
it's
do you
based
think?
online. It's over for their career.
Yeah, who do you think
Do one thing,
that
they'll
that
snap
white
you.
man with that $1 billion and you got a black man with $1 billion, who is gonna be more respected?
The
The
white
white
man, look
man.
at Deion Sanders.
Come on, the curse still up on you. Look what it, come on. It says curse, verse 16, verse 17, curse shall be thy basket and thy store. Okay? Your
Yes,
family might have had it going on, but this means that you ain't gonna have all the food that you're gonna be hungry sometime. I know about them days. We're a little
yep,
bit better off now. You know what I mean? But we was hungry here and there. Okay, look at this here. Let me read another. It says, the fruit of thy land, the increase. All this is cursed now. The fruit of thy land, the increase of thy king. Can y'all still hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. It says, verse 19 says, cursed shall thy be when thy comest in, and cursed shall thy be when thy goest out. I want to get to some stuff that my young sister can be able to see, because you know what happened to our people in slavery, right? You read about it.
yes,
You read about it. You'll be able to
right.
see this right here. It says that Yahuah shall send upon thee cursings, vexations, rebuke, and all that thou settest thine hand unto for to
Mhm.
do, until thou be destroyed, and until thou perish quickly, because of the wickedness of thy doing, whereby thou hast forsaken me. Now, verse 21 says, and Yahuwah shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee, until he hath consumed thee from off the land, whither thou goest to possess it. And Yahuwah shall smite thee with the consumption, and with a fever, and with inflammation, and with an extreme burning, and with the sword, and with blasting, and with mildew, and they shall pursue thee until you perish. The heavens that
Hmm.
is over thy head shall be brass, and the earth that is under thee shall be iron. You know what that means? This is why we wonder why our prayers don't get answered. Our tafalahs don't get answered. Just like brass, because you cursed.
Yep.
Mm.
You cursed. This is why when the white man plant a field, Trudy, when a white man plant a field, oh, crops just so long, beautiful. But when we plant one, we don't yield. We don't get
Mhm.
that yield that they do. You ain't never wondered about this? You know, I love to watch this show down in Louisiana, and it's about these alligator shows. You know, they catching these
Oh yeah,
alligators. What is it?
swamp thing is a swamp.
Swamp people.
Yeah.
Swamp people, and they catch these because Louisiana is so filled with alligators. They make a living from doing this, catching them and selling them to the market for their skin. I got a lot of their boots. but anyway, but anyway, you know, and the white people, I mean, they make thousands of dollars off of this. You
Mhm.
got a black family that do it, they pretty much
Ain't
had to
gonna
go
make
out
it.
of business. Couldn't prosper.
Mhm.
What is wrong? What is this the alligator's problem? No, it's the curse that's upon us. It's the curse that is upon us. And the
It
Most
is.
High is making, let me move this over. And the Most High is making sure of this thing. It's going to carry out.
Right.
Verse 25 says this right here. And Yahuwah shall
Yes.
cause thee to be smitten before thine enemies. What you think we've been up against all this time? Our
Uh-huh.
people dying in the streets. Huh? And they raided our homes, pulled husbands and wives and sons and stuff out of bed and did these things to them. You know, this is what
Mhm.
he's talking about here. And our people, they can't even see this. Thou shalt go out one way against them and flee seven ways. You're going to try to fight back, but they're going to overcome you. You're going to flee seven ways. You're going to try to go up against them one way, but you're going to have to flee seven ways, trying to get away from them. This
Yep.
is why they want to try to bring race wars and stuff on the day, because they know we can't win and they can just destroy us. Psalms
Right.
83,
Mhm.
come and let us confederate ourselves together so we might wipe them from off from being a nation. It's
Yep.
all
Yep.
about us, young blood. It's all about us.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Keaton.
It's all about us. You know. All right, let me
You
read a
know,
little bit
I'm
more.
Yeah, are
Yeah,
you
are
going to
you going to
get to
get
the
to the
part
part
by
by
selling your
selling your
sons and
sons
your
and your
daughters
daughters
and
and
all of
all of
that
that
too?
too?
I want to read it all, but it's so long we might not have the time. So we'll just skip on down to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look here. Let me go to verse 30. Look at verse 30. Look what verse 30 says. Huh?
We on
We
the
on the
same
same
page. I
page.
went
I
right
went
to
right to
verse
verse
30 and
30
said,
and
read.
said,
Gotcha. It says, "Thou shalt betroth a wife. Thou shalt betroth a wife." In other words, you in line. You finna marry this woman. You like this woman, and y'all gonna get married, right? And another
Uh-huh.
man shall lie with her. Who did that?
Mm-hmm.
Massa came and got that woman that you are betrothed with, is gonna be your wife, and now he done laid down and had sex with her. You see
Right.
what was done to the male? We were so broken and we couldn't do nothing. And this is the condition of us today. But y'all perceive us as weak. This is the trauma that we're living through. And we
Right.
can't do anything. We believe that we can't do anything today. That trauma have to be broken first. You know? Because we
We
are
have
the
to be the
head.
ones to help
help
break
break
that
that
trauma.
trauma.
Huh?
We
We
have to
have
be
to
the
be
ones
the
to
ones to
help
help
and
and
Yeah,
instill
y'all
instill
got to help
positive
positive
break it.
words
words
to the
to the
man.
man.
Because when
Because
I
when I
tell you,
tell
when
you,
my
when my
ish, when
ish,
he
when he
came
came
home,
home,
he was
he was
the
the
words of
words of
his
his
past,
past,
what
what
people
people
said,
said,
women that
women
he
that
was
he
with
was with
prior.
prior.
Oh,
Oh,
you'll
Mm-hmm.
you'll
never
never
be
be
acquainted. You know,
acquainted.
and
You
I
know, and
said,
I said,
who
who
told you
told you
that?
that?
Yeah. Who told you that?
Who
I
told
mean,
those things to
this is
you?
the
I
stuff
am
that's
life.
Life.
You're
You're
more than
more
a
than a
conqueror. You're
conqueror.
the
You're the
head and
head
not
and
the
not the
tail.
tail.
yeah,
But
But
this
we
we
is
can
the
can
stuff
only
that's
only
down
do
on
these
the
see
inside
things.
of us. We've been broke up, we've been broke down, and then we still got to get broke down even further by y'all. You know,
Yes.
Yes.
when you're supposed to be building us up now. You see this wall in this background? Build us like that. Build us like that. Because we've been the target and we've been shot down, pushed down, knocked down. Look at this right here. Let me read a little bit more. Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. Thou shalt build a house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. What that mean? Every time we built, the clansmen came and burned it down. We never get a chance to dwell in it. I mean, we have created a whole society for ourselves. Black Wall Street and other places, they burn it down. They won't leave us alone. These are the curses. And when we think that we're doing good and this here and that, then something always gonna come and happen to us. Why? Because of the curses. And I got so upset, Trudy. I got so upset, and I asked the Father. I said, "Our ancestors did this. Why are you doing this to us? I mean, we didn't do these things." He said, and I heard him. I heard the Ruach say, "You was in them." I can't
Is
hear
the
Is
you.
the
truth.
truth.
Yeah. He said, "You was in
I'm
them."
I'm
hearing an
hearing an
echo.
echo.
We
We
got to
gotta
mute
mute
our
our
mics
Probably
mics
when
when
we're
because
we're
not
not
these
talking.
talking.
things are down. Let me see. Have they charged a little bit now so I can continue?
With with that, it's been scientifically proven that a woman carries the man, even that's why we have to be careful who we sleep with, because we still carry a piece of that man within us.
I'm telling you now.
Yes. Yeah.
Y'all are
And
carriers.
so, yeah, and I tell my daughter, these boys liking her, I said, honey, let me tell you, you sleep with one, you got him in you for the rest of your life. You sleep with that one, and you're going to have to pray off whatever he carrying in him. You're going to have to pray that off for you. That's how we get soul ties.
Let me tell you this right
Mm-hmm.
here. Let me tell you this right here. Because Christianity ain't gonna tell you, but I'm gonna tell you.
Tell
Look,
it.
we go through. Yahuah says, "What I join together, let no man put us under." Right now, what do he
Right.
mean by that? Now he mean what he means by that is that when we want to get married, now we got to go and got to go to the courthouse, got to go get a marriage license, got to go get permission from a man to get married,
I'm a
and
man.
that same man
Yes,
can divorce you. Our wedding day was in the bedroom when
that's
when
That's
right.
right.
when
As
Isaac
soon as you
saw
consummated the
Rebecca,
marriage,
and soon
that
as
you got married.
it says Isaac took his was it Isaac? Yeah, Isaac took Rebecca into his mother's tent, and they was married then. That's the reason you got
Yep.
no business laying with every Tom, Dick, and Harry. I was gonna get into this.
Right.
I didn't really want to get into this here. What about the fornication stuff that we was gonna have? Our people have lost it. Our people have lost it. They really
We have.
have. You don't need to stand up before no preacher to get married. You don't need to go to no courthouse to get married. You just go to the bed. And what that's where your marriage, that's where you became one at, right there. In the
You
eyes
right.
of
y'all.
Yahuwah. That's
Yep.
scripture.
Even
Yep. That's
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 scripture.
fine.
even in the garden,
Yep.
when
Exactly.
Yahuwah brought Eve unto him, he
Listen,
labeled her. He said, "Now she's bone of my bone,
come
flesh of
on.
my flesh."
Come on.
Yep.
Come on.
When you
But
get
our
married
people,
by government, it's only for tax purposes.
Yes. So they
you
can tax the
see,
heck out of you.
yeah, you see, young sisters, they have changed everything about us. We're the
They make
true,
Yes,
the
money
true
even
off
people.
of
what we wear.
And
hell
now,
ignorant.
and I'm gonna get down to the part two in here where it says that you're gonna become just like the nations that I'm sending you to. You're gonna become just
Mm-hmm.
like them. And now we're just like them. We stand up before a man and get married and all. No, you have never been for that. Once we took that woman that was of our own people
Yes,
to
Right.
bed, had made love, now you're married. You're one.
that's right.
Right.
Now, what
Right.
man in the government can come and separate that? Give
Huh?
you a divorce? Only that
Right.
man, if he found some unclean. I don't want to go. Let me go. Let me just keep reading this here.
That's gonna have to be the next.
Yeah.
That's gonna have to be the next topic, man of y'all. 'Cause that's right
You
there
got me
good.
stretched.
That's
Jared, no, I've been
cooking
trying to
good.
avoid
That was
that.
good.
I've been
You
trying to
That's
got
avoid.
me
cooking good
stretched. I
right
ain't got
there.
to
Listen,
tell the
I'm gonna
sons
say
and
this one more
daughters and all
thing.
of
I'm gonna
that.
say this one more thing because we don't
Yeah.
believe nothing. We just believe the heathen way now. That's the reason
Right.
that the man can only commit adultery. I'm gonna share something with you. Ain't no such thing as fornication. You don't see that in the Torah. But let me tell you this here. They, I know everybody don't believe this or hearing this right here, but they don't understand how the heathen then twisted everything. What's in the Ten
Right.
Commandments? It just said, "Thou shalt not commit fornication," and then "Thou shalt not commit adultery."
It's
Thou shalt not
adultery.
commit adultery. They didn't
That's
label
what it says.
fornication and brought it in there and talking about fornication is when two single people lay
Separate.
together.
Yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
got you. When two single people lay together. When two single people lay together, they become husband and wife.
That's right.
Yeah. That's
Woo!
the
I
Ain't
got
no
the
marriage.
music. I
fornication.
don't want to be safe.
Ain't no fornication. But we can't teach our people nothing. Now, if that white man come in and tell them this, they'll believe it. You got me what I'm
Right.
saying? Because that white man, when they
Yes.
came in and told them, your fornication, two single men, you believed it. Never been so. Never been so. Never been so.
Right.
If that's fornication, then Isaac and Rebecca was a fornicator.
Married 20 times.
Isaac and Rebecca is a fornicator. He wants every control over our life. That's the reason he say you got to get you have to get you got to get a license from us. You know what I'm saying? You got to
Right.
get blood tests from us. You got to get our
Yeah.
permission to get married. And so by them having that control, now you can go back to your master and say, well, he ain't treating me right, or she ain't treating me right. Then your master can give you that divorce. Yahuwah never meant for it to be that way. He
Never.
never meant for it to be. But you can't tell our people
That's
nothing.
really hard too.
It is
Mm-hmm.
not in the Ten Commandments. It's not in our Torah. Thou shalt not commit fornication. It's in there. Thou shalt
Right.
not commit adultery. So what
Commit
is adultery?
adultery.
Listen, a man, the male, can only commit adultery in two ways. Only two ways. You understand me? One way, and the main way is that he commit adultery when he sleep with another man's wife. See, that's in our Torah. Thou shalt not don't fool with another man's wife. You got me? He commit adultery that way. I can't hear you, Trudy. He
I'm
Yeah.
commits
sorry. I'm muted.
no problem. That's how he commits adultery. You see. Now,
Mhm.
that woman, that woman, that first man that she lies with, that's her husband. That's her
Right.
husband. Now, if she go lie with another man, she is an adulteress.
An
But
adulteress.
now that man, a lot of folks don't believe this here. Don't go with it. I don't care if you don't. I'm talking about the scriptures. I'm talking about the scriptures. That man could go and sleep with that woman, she his wife. That man could go and get another wife, sleep with her. That's what make him his wife. and
Right.
so on. I'm telling you the
Right.
scriptures. But in our culture,
Deuteronomy 20, that's, man
come
of y'all,
on.
that's Deuteronomy 22, 28 through 29.
Yeah, but we don't want to hear it. We don't want to hear it. You know what I mean? Because we go by the white man's laws. Now,
Right.
we're in the land of our captivity. But now, you ain't all right with that way today, woman of Yahuwah, because you've been just pulverized with the laws of our captivity. So you can't see this. You don't want your husband but in our culture at that time, the women insisted on this. Why you think it was so easy for Sarah to tell Abraham, you can lay with my handmaid? Became his wife. Because it was a
Became
part
his
of
wife.
our culture.
Right. Yeah.
And it was
Yeah.
for childbearing and all that kind of stuff. It was
It
our
was for
culture.
childbearing
But
purposes.
our women that is not raised in that, they don't want to hear that. They don't want to hear that. But it was always more females than it was males, and they
Always.
understood our sisters' plight. Okay, this could be
Mhm.
your husband too. This could be your husband too. Look here, one male. That's how Yasharel grew. That's how they grew, how we grew to be a great nation. Because one male can impregnate 10 women.
At
You
one
make it
time.
10, one male
One
can
meal and one
impregnate
day.
10 women. So what, Trudy? What you say?
She said in one day.
And
I'm
look,
sick of
we, I don't know about all that.
it. I
I
said
don't
in
know about,
one day they can make a whole nation.
yeah.
But you know what? Let me tell you something. And this is, we have allowed man, the oppressor, to even now put in our minds that we got to go get artificially inseminated.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Exactly. They
And
do that today.
I know children may be listening, but they still have to learn because they teaching them in school about all this sexual stuff. This thing that women, we have to stop running to the sex store and buying these
Ooh.
toys separate you from
Yeah.
the
They
man.
got spirits on
See,
them.
I like you.
They got
You're real.
spirits.
And we've
He
been
can't
taught.
please
Very
you
real.
because the Energizer Bunny is pleasing you.
Yeah.
You done separated yourself from the man from for a Duracell battery.
Tell it, Trudy.
Hey, I'm sorry,
I'm
young sister.
sorry.
I'm terrible with, no, I ain't
Candace.
sorry about what you saying. What I'm finna say, I'm sorry about, I'm terrible with names. They'll leave out my mind. So
Candace.
tell me Candace. Candace, it is what it is, baby girl. You hear me?
Yeah.
We deal with the real issues here. And that's the reason why our children make so many mistakes now, because we
Because
don't want to say
nobody
what
tell
need to be
them.
said. Ain't
Nobody's
nobody
talking
telling
about
them.
this.
No one is
I
talking
appreciate
about
They,
it.
you, Candace.
it's
Huh?
simple. And
You
then they
said
want to know why
Candace,
we
but
having
you called me
ovarian
Candace.
cancer. Because
Yeah,
you putting these things in your body. You having a
exactly.
robot or whatever it's called, the rabbit, whatever. You using that
Hmm.
thing and now you got affection towards a man.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
now you
we've been
know why we got women that's calling themselves studs, which is a male horse that get female horses
exactly.
pregnant.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Confusion.
A
Right.
stud. And that's what they
Right.
call themselves stud, because they have taken on our masculinity, because they have
Right.
accepted what how society has made them. Now you masculine.
Right.
That's the
Right.
reason. That's the reason why our men, you know, our men will physically fight a woman with his fist today. Why? Because you presenting yourself as a man.
Except as a
So come on,
man.
we're
Man,
gonna fight
Yep.
like men.
Yep.
that's
But it's
right.
You
never,
want to act
our
like
society is
one?
so
Let's
messed
fight
up.
like one.
But Yahuwah gonna get us there. Let me get back to this right here. I just want to share that a little
Yes.
bit
Yes.
there. It don't matter if people disagree with it. It is the truth. Search the scriptures
You got
yourself.
a point,
We
though.
ain't never
You ain't
stood up.
wrong.
We ain't never stood up at no courthouse. Went to no church. We ain't have no church. Wasn't no church. The Most High didn't give us no church to go and get married in and all this kind of stuff. We got
Outside.
married through sex,
Yep.
having sex. I
Wherever you
mean,
was.
and in some way, and some of it is even in the New Testament, where Paul said, "If you join yourself to a harlot, you become one."
That's
That's right.
right.
If you have sex with a prostitute, she your wife now.
That's
Yeah.
Come
right.
on,
Yeah.
but we
And
don't.
it's in it is in It talks about if you got the law, the Torah, it tells you marriage. If a woman is not a maiden, then they shall bring out the girl out to the door of her father's house. Then it goes about if you're seizing a maiden. It talks about certification of divorce. All of this stuff is right here, what we need.
Brad, and I'm gonna tell y'all something else that's gonna shock you. This is the reason you gotta leave Christianity, young Kansas. You gotta leave it. I'm gonna tell you this right here. There's two kinds of virgins. There's two kind of virgins. There ain't no one kind. You know that's a virgin. That's I ain't gonna get into the words right now, but I'm gonna tell you this right here. Mary, the mother of Yahusha, she is not that virgin like Christianity have taught you. She was a virgin, and she was a virgin, and I forgot the Hebrew word for that type virgin. She was the same type virgin that Yeshayahu or Isaiah's wife was. We bought that
Mhm.
lie when the Most High told when Yeshayahu said, and a virgin shall be with child. You know what I'm saying? He was given a sign because Ephraim was fixing to come up against Yehuda, and Ephraim had went together and put himself with the other nations, and now he gonna come and kill his brother Yehuda. And he told Isaiah, the Most High told Isaiah, this is the sign that I'm going to give you, that this is not going to happen to Yehuda. A virgin shall be
Mm.
with a child. And he was talking about Isaiah's wife. Isaiah's going to lay with his wife. They already got one son. You have to go and read the scriptures and stuff. But look, Joseph, Mary's husband, is Yahusha earthly father by sex union. You want to know why I say that?
Mm.
Yahusha says that I'm the son of man. We don't
Right.
pay attention to that. He
He
must be
did say
lying
he's the
then.
son of
And
man.
we in Christianity said, oh, the Holy Ghost overshadow her. She become no, Joseph is his daddy. He said, I'm the son of David, I'm the son of man. He said that himself. How
Hmm.
could how could how could Yahusha be a perfect sacrifice?
For man, if he wasn't man.
Let me tell you this. Moses said this to the people. That was before our people went into disobedience. Moses said, it's coming a day, coming a time where, Allure is going to send a prophet to you like me,
Like me.
of me. Him you shall hear. And he's going to come from the house of Yehuda. He's gonna come.
Hmm.
Mary, see, these old Jewish folk turn that around. How could Yahusha come from the house of Yehuda if the seed came from the woman? The seed got to come from the
From
man.
the
It
man.
can't. Joseph
Right.
was of the house of Yehuda, so
Yeah,
that
she
seed
wasn't.
came
Mary
from
wasn't.
him.
Oh, yeah.
No, the seed, the bloodline come down through the man. And Joseph
Yes.
Right.
was of the house of Yehuda. And that's why they
Yes.
call her Mashek, the lion of the tribe of Yehuda, because that's where he
Judah.
came from, of Judah.
Okay.
Hmm.
Judah, baby. I got to explain
Yeah.
Judah. But the Hebrew
Right.
word is Yehuda. It's Yehuda,
It's,
And so
it's not gay. It's the
Mary,
lion.
Joseph is his father. And see, now
Hmm.
they're hidden at the very foundation of Christianity.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Cause
Yeah.
it to crumble. She was
Yes.
Hmm.
not a virgin that never knew a man. She was a
Right.
virgin that only knew one man, and that was it.
It.
Now, if
Mm-hmm.
she had
Right.
known another man, she was no longer a
Then she
virgin in Yahuwah's eyesight.
would have been a
Right.
maiden.
Are y'all following?
Right.
But
Wow.
Christianity
Hmm.
doesn't
I've
teach you
never heard
this.
it put like that. You know what? They
Christianity
don't
doesn't
really
teach you
teach
this.
it like that.
I mean,
Hmm.
Yahusha
But
went
he
all over
had
the
to lay with
place.
her. He had to lay with her in order to be his wife back then. So when he had sex with her, it was already the seed was already planted, but he fertilized. Is that about right? What I'm saying?
No, no,
Yeah,
no.
but what
It's
about
his
the
seed.
dream that
It's
she
his
had?
seed. Huh?
The dream that Joseph had that saying that she was with child and
Insertion. Insertion.
Insertion. It's
Insertion.
not in
That's
the
all
original
what it is.
Hebrew
They
value.
prove their lie to make it look real to us.
Oh wow. So
I'm
that's
telling you,
not in the original Hebrew?
no, these people have done some damage, and that's why Yahuwah said, I'm going to destroy them. That's why Yahusha said,
Okay, I'm
anybody
gonna
that
add to
take
it. They
away
did.
or add to this prophecy, I'm taking
Yep,
his name out of the book. Because he
That's
knew they
right.
yep,
would. He knew they
yep.
would.
He knew they were,
So
and he knew that they was gonna not call him by his
something he
name.
could go
And
now
he
and lay
talks
with
about
her.
that in scripture too. And he
Yeah,
said one day they're gonna call him by his name. And he
yeah,
said his son's name is in his name. So that
yeah,
if his
Right.
name is Yahuwah and his son's name is Yahusha, his
yeah.
son's name is in the Father's name.
Come
These are
on.
scriptures.
Exactly. I don't see what they call it. If it was three, like they say, three, I don't see where the father's name is Jesus. So what he gonna call him Jesus, Jesus? I don't see whether
Right.
y'all feel me? The
Right.
father's
And the
name is
letter J wasn't even
Yahuwah.
invented, and it's not even a Hebrew
500
word.
years ago.
Yeah,
The J didn't come
it's
along to
not
500
even a
years ago, and
Hebrew
we're dealing
word.
with
It's a Greek word.
yeah.
And and
The,
and if they made his image white, what made you think they didn't change his name to match that
they
white,
changed it
blonde hair,
all.
blue eye?
They changed it all. They changed
Right.
You
it
know what's
all.
so
They
crazy
changed our
is that
word. They
He said
changed
in
our
the
his
last
scriptures.
days, knowledge will increase. In the
Exactly.
last days. So we
And that's
must
what's
you
be
know what
happening
in
right
the
now.
last days.
that his description is right in the word.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
because
it
because
says
the
burnt,
because of the slave
burnt
preachers
grass.
was given the slave Bible, they could only read things that would
What was
benefit.
handpicked out of the King James that would benefit them, and even some of them
Yep.
is insertions. Even them
And
is
how
some of
did
Yep.
them
that
insertions.
out
Do not believe that crap
that
when it says in James the third chapter, submit yourself to every ordinance of government and man and this here and that. When
Oh, that's
Ephesians Listen, and when
not.
Ephesians 4 tells us that, that 6, one of them, it says, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, right? And they
That's
don't
right.
put what the
it's
original text
government.
says. The original text says it's wicked governments that we
Government
under. And
in
now
high
it's telling us
places.
now that submit yourself to every ordinance of man in the government because you who and giving it the power. No, it's insertions and it's twisting.
Yep.
Satan is that twisting serpent.
He
Mm-hmm.
is. He's very clever.
He's that twisting serpent. And so many of our
Yeah.
people are just so still in it. And you better
And
That's
lay
that's
down
right.
what's
this
hard. A
Christianity.
lot of
But
people
see,
is
they don't
falling
want to
away
eat.
and they can't grasp it and they can't latch on because it's not really making any sense and it's not speaking to them. They're
They
left
just
out of it.
they just got to study the
You see
scriptures
all
a
these
little
women
bit.
expressing themselves.
That's just like the Christians come up with the tribulation period. Jacob's troubles, right? Jacob done had trouble ever since he got put out of his land.
Right.
Right.
What you think the Atlantic slave trade was about? Them troubles for us. What the Portuguese and Spain and nations like that did to us. We've been in trouble. We've been going through troubles all along. So now they come up with Jacob's troubles. That's the tribulation period. But the church gonna be raptured out of here before the tribulation period. A lie.
We're
It
not
is
Mm-mm.
raptured again.
prophesied in the scriptures that
1,000 years.
it is prophesied in the scriptures that the anti Messiah comes first. But they
Mm-hmm.
have taught it like Yahusha is coming first. No,
Right.
Yahusha
Mm-hmm.
is not coming first. In order for the
Right.
anti, listen to me, because they waiting on the rapture, right? And they said
Right.
Jesus
Right.
coming to get me. If the anti Messiah is to fool people, in order for him to fool people, Trudy, the real Messiah got to come later. The anti Messiah got to
Right.
be first. So that's
Right.
what
To
Christians is
trick
being
you.
led to, the Antichrist. And if you look up
Right.
the rapture, and I've said this many times, that's a false doctrine. That's a doctrine of the devil because it actually tells you all you got to do is type in, go on Google. You Google everything else. Go on Google, type in John Darby 1830 rapture, and they'll tell you where that false doctrine comes from.
Came up from him.
Mm-hmm.
It came from him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yes, it's rapture's not even in scripture.
it's not even in scripture.
What was
And
that
what?
again?
Listen, let me say
John
this one more
Darby?
thing. Let me say that John Darby, 1830 rapture. And I'll tell you, that fella came up with that and brought it down. And see, what they turned into the rapture was our gathering, our regathering.
Right.
That's what our allure talks about. Our gathering, gathering his people. And so now
Right.
Christianity says that's the rapture. You
That's
see.
what's up.
That's all. I mean, we've been just hoodwinked, fool, and we set up in these churches. Don't pass me by. Oh, don't pass me by. Forget about that crowd. That's not us. That's not us, man. It's not us. You
You
know.
know
But
what's
we,
so crazy? I'm looking for right here, and they can't say, "Oh, we didn't know." Well, if you wouldn't have tried to keep my people from being lost and reading the true word, they will see where it talks about servants,
of course,
how you're supposed to treat your servants, how a
yeah,
Hebrew servant are different. It talks Hebrew servants, male and female servants,
Yeah.
Hebrew
Yeah.
servants, wives and family, the servants who wish to remain, the escape of it, how you're supposed to handle all of these things. And they did none of it.
they did none of it, and that was such a thing as indentured servitude. You know.
Right.
Hmm.
That was such a thing, and most of the scriptures like that is dealing with that I was talking about. You know, slaves, be this to your masters and all that kind of. That was dealing with in indentured servitude. They couldn't be an indentured someone that have indentured themselves to you. You know, they couldn't
Right.
do this stuff. They have agreed to work for you for so long for this or for that, and so they sold themselves, but they was indentured. But we went through flat out slavery, no indenture. They looked at us as property. We were their property. We were their cat. Why you think
And
when you watch the old movies and they come open up your mouth like you're a horse or something, looking at your teeth?
they do the same way they inspected slaves is the same way they inspect NFL players.
Come on, they do all that kind of stuff,
Wow.
you know.
Wow.
But we
Same
don't
way they
look at
put
that.
them on the butcher to see how they measure their biceps, their triceps, how far they can push. They did all of those to the male.
Yeah, but we
Hmm.
are so distant from our culture that we don't. Many of us don't even believe the things that I'm even talking right now because
Well,
we are
Right.
read
just so
what
far
it
from our
says.
culture.
Do you mind reading where
Mhm.
it says they're going to sell your sons and daughter, and she'll
Come
be
on.
a boy for a harlot?
Yeah, yeah. That's in Job. Job
Oh yeah,
Yahuah
that
3.
part. Okay,
Yeah,
all
that
right.
part is.
So
Oh,
what?
let me just keep reading
Uh,
this. Let me just keep
yes,
reading
yes.
this here. It says, "Thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. Thou shalt build a house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and shall not gather the grapes thereof." All these things have happened. It says, "Thine ox shall be slain before thine eyes." They doing all this crap to us and have done it. Thou shalt not eat thereof. Thine ass shall be violently taken away from before thy face, and shall not be restored to thee. Thy sheep shall be given unto thine enemies, and thou shalt have none to rescue them. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given to another people. That's what you talking about. No, but
Yes,
now the harlot, that Yoel talk about that. Yahuel talk about
yes,
that. It says, but anyway,
yes, yes.
it says, thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thy eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day, all the day long, and there shall be no might in thy hand. What is this talking about? That's why you can, okay, just say you in New York, and then you go to Florida and you see somebody look just like your uncle, your brother, because our people were sold. Their children was taken away, and our people just strolled all over. I mean, that's a fellow in I forgot this place was, but my nephew went there, and he sent us a picture back. He said, "Who does this look like?" I said, "My brother." I mean, that fella and my brother could pass for twins, but we don't even know one another. We ain't even got no kind of connections or no nothing. It was just his his daddy's son was sold.
Mm.
You see
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And
Mm.
went to another plantation, so we're scattered all over the place. This is what this verse talk about. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given to another people, and thy eyes shall look. I mean, we were just put all over the place. all over the place. They
Mm-hmm.
had no heart for us.
In
You
the room.
separating this
Right.
woman
Yeah.
from her
Right.
baby? You separating this baby girl? She ain't but 3, and you selling her to some junk white master in another state? You separating that mother? Do you know the trauma that our people suffer? And we still
Mm.
up into some Christianity, bringing in the
Yeah.
sheep. How can we rejoicing? Bring
Yep.
no, those are not
Yep.
the songs of
For
Zion.
real though.
Those are not
Mm-hmm.
the songs of
You
Zion.
back it up with scripture. You
You hear
can't
me?
be
What I'm
talking
saying?
about like
I'm telling you, man. And we're still hanging on to this crap. That is not our culture. It's not. We're worshiping false deities every time we walk up into a church and bowing and lifting our hand to a so-called white man called Jesus and these demonic beings called God. They are
Even the
not the
cross.
allure. Even the cross
Even
is
the
pagan.
cross. He
yeah,
told
because
us,
that
do not bow
represents
down to
Tammuz.
anything carved
And
of
that's
wood
Tammuz.
or stone.
Come on, sister. And that stuff come from what's his name? And tell
Yeah.
me he had a
Yeah.
vision,
That's
and the vision, and God told him conquer through this symbol. What Constantine? Talking about a cross.
Yep.
When it says that Hamashiach was hung on a stake,
He
On
was
a stake.
hung.
a
Yeah.
tree. You know, in some parts
Yep.
say tree, in
Just
some
like
parts say
they
a stake.
lynch
He
us.
wasn't. Yeah, he wasn't hung like this. He
No.
Right.
wasn't hung like this. If it's a steak, guess what? If it's a steak, like they said, that is a straight piece of wood, right?
Up
So
and
he was
down.
hung like
Straight up
this.
and down.
But if he was
Right.
hung
Mhm.
from a tree, then he was hung just like, you know, by the neck,
Right.
by the
Like
rope,
that. Right.
just like us did.
Yeah.
But you have to give an
Right.
account for the nails in his hands. I
There
like to
you
go
go.
like this. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You have to give an account of
Yeah.
that. But I
Well,
don't
we
know,
went
man.
real long today.
What
It's
time? What
very
happened?
educational.
Oh shoot,
You
we've been
know,
on this thing 3 hours. We gotta go.
But you know what? I want to say this today. A lot of people are celebrating this pagan holiday that is for the goddess of the Olympians.
yeah.
Really?
And yes, Mother's Day is the goddess of Olympians, the mother of the Olympians, God, Zeus.
Yep,
Yeah.
Cornelius
Zeus.
is,
That's
that's what this is
listen,
for.
listen to me, young baby. Every time you go to the church and talk about, oh Jesus, you're calling on Zeus,
You're calling on
an
Zeus.
idol god, a god of the lands, of the heathens. See,
That's
they
it.
took
You
away
breaking the
our
first commandment.
allure. They took away our allure and gave us their deities, their false gods.
Yeah.
You
And if
see,
Yeah.
you look
their
up
false
Giorgio,
Elohim.
Borgio, is it Borgio, Giorgio, or Giorgio Borgia?
Uh,
Look that
uh,
name.
Caesar Caesar
Caesar
Borgia. Yeah.
Borgias.
Right.
Yeah.
This
That's his
guy
son. Yeah, that's his son.
this guy that
Yeah.
they call in Jesus and stuff and given to us. This guy was a pedophile and a homosexual.
Yep. I just
Hmm.
told my daughter. Yep.
Oh, you
That's
did? Of
what
course.
Valentine's Day is for.
Yeah, man. Come on.
Yeah.
When
All
are
the
you gonna
holidays
wake
out
up,
there.
black folk? Black folk,
Mhm.
Yeah.
wake up,
Wake
wake
up.
up. Because
Right.
we done sold ourselves for naught, just like the scripture says. And I like what
Yep.
Lucretia said right here. Let me put this up on the screen, and maybe y'all will see it. Put this up on the screen. She said, separated our husbands from our households as well.
Yep.
No wonder we act like,
Mhm.
let me see, can I make this
We act
small
the
or
way
something?
we do.
Act the way we do. I'm
Say
telling
we
you,
do.
we
Yeah,
don't
but
we don't
think
give
about
account for all
this.
this stuff.
Even
Mm-hmm.
Section 8.
Huh?
If they, and it's a Section 8, the program Section 8. If y'all never seen the movie with Diane Carroll and James Earl Jones, he's a
Yeah.
garbage man.
I seen that
And
movie.
she found
I saw that.
that
Yep.
Yeah,
that's
I
one
seen the
reason
movie.
how they, oh, he makes so you're gonna take all your benefits if he lives
Hmm.
in this house.
Yeah.
Marry her, take care of her children.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But he couldn't because I'll lose my benefits. They had to hide and lie and sneak and everything. But
Yeah.
the marriage was only for to control what we did and how we loved as slaves.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
Like
But
I
we,
told my ex, he's like, we're not going down to no courthouse and letting them sign that demonic stamp on us and saying that they over us.
man, look, we just got to
Yep.
wake the hell up.
We
That's
gave
all.
them permission to be
Put
in
this
our
crap out.
business.
We gave them this. That's what we done. And
Yeah.
still some of our people, because we've been Western raised and all this kind of stuff, still some of our people don't believe what I said about what makes you married to each other. We don't believe it.
And it's right
We don't
in the
believe it.
word.
And it's right there in the
Mhm.
word. We don't
It
believe it.
really is.
And so you young girls
Yeah.
out there and older women, you just going from one man to another, you are an adulteress because
Right.
Yep.
you have a husband. Now that husband can have one, two, three, four, five wives. He can have. Look, this is what Yahuah told David when he when he killed Uriah and slept with Bathsheba, right? Yahuah said to King David, I've given you all these wives. I've given
I
you
have.
all these wives. I've given them to you. And then you go and get this man's one wife and kill him?
Yep. Covenant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't want to accept what the scripture says. Yahuah said, David, I've given you all these wives of yours, but now I'm gonna give them to other men because of what
Mm.
you've done. We don't want to accept that. We don't
He
want to
was a
accept
good
that.
king. He was a great king, but a terrible father.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what
Yeah,
though?
They-
he was a
Let, let,
bad
let, let,
father.
let me tell you this right here. Let me clear that up a little bit. David wasn't a bad
Mhm.
father. What David did loose something up on his house to make his children do what they did.
Oh, that's what happened.
He
Yes.
put
That's
a
what
curse on
happened.
his
Yes,
own
it
home.
Come
did.
on.
It caused
David,
it
they,
opened up. It opened up a
David,
portal.
yeah, King David loved his
Yeah, he
children.
cursed his
Even when,
bloodline.
even when Jehu killed, when his captain
After
killed Absalom, David, oh my son, oh my son. This man cried when I was reading it. I felt it. He cried in such a way. He howled in such a
Hmm.
way when Absalom died, and Absalom was trying to
Yeah.
dethrone him. David, because what he did, and we don't look at this here stuff. We think this is what
Right.
Christianity teaches y'all. This is what Christianity teaches y'all. Oh, if you do anything wrong, just go and get forgiveness, and Jesus is going to forgive you because He's loving, He's merciful. They don't tell you that Yahusha will
Consequences.
forgive you, but they don't tell you the consequences that you're gonna have to go through for opening that
Right.
door.
That don't escape you from the
Just like
consequences.
He told
that's
David. He
why
said
he says,
he told
acknowledge me in all your ways,
yeah
and I
yeah.
shall direct you.
And he told King David this when he did this, because when Nathan the prophet came to King David and told him all this and what Yahuwah said,
Thou art the
and
man.
David, huh? So what?
Thou art the man.
Yeah, he said that. But listen to this though,
Yeah.
and David also told him that because David cried out for forgiveness. That's what
Mhm.
Yahuwah and Yahuwah said, "I forgive him, but the sword shall never depart from your house because of what you
Never.
done." But Christianity
Yeah.
said, "Oh, he's so nice and he'll forgive you this and that and all that kind of stuff." No, he told David. See, you have to look at it now. That don't what he pronounced up on King David. That don't go for everybody though.
That's
Right.
true.
The reason why it went for King David because this man is after my own heart. He knew better to do that, so his punishment
Mhm.
gonna be harsher. You see,
How I should.
his punishment gonna
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
harsher because he knew
Yeah.
better
Yeah.
to do that. And
Better.
he said that
You know,
now.
I've heard some of our people say, I don't, this is what they told me. I don't want to hear it because if I don't hear it, it won't hurt me. I won't be held accountable.
That's Hosea 4:6.
Let me write it down.
Isaiah 4:6.
You perish because you don't got no knowledge and you ignorant
Not
toward it. You don't
knowledge.
want to know it.
And you're
That's
gonna
Hosea 4 and
perish
6. Yeah. That's just
because you
like an
weren't even
ostrich.
trying to get the knowledge.
You know,
Stick it
ostriches, these
here,
big birds,
Missy.
they stick their heads in the ground, and they think just because they can't see nobody, can't nobody see all that big body sticking up
La la la
because
la
they
la la
can't
la
see.
Mhm.
la 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 la.
That's it. Father, help us. We need some help bad as a
Right.
hog needs slop. And you know a
Ooh,
hog loves some
that was
slop.
a lesson today.
Mhm.
That
Yeah,
was a
we got to
lesson.
go. We didn't get through all of this, but we'll put this on our roster too. So
Yeah.
next week we probably come with the guys, Trudy. I know we're gonna sidestep, but that's just what we do. Because our folk need to know a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
don't just
We've
need to
been
know some stuff.
brainwashed for
Our
years.
folk need to know a lot of stuff.
We're it's like we're being pruned. And you know, when I had cut down the tree, it got cut all the limbs off to barely
Yeah,
nothing. Now
come on.
new
Yeah.
leaves will
Burn them.
be more stronger and greener.
Yeah,
That's what has to happen. We have to be dissected in this
yeah.
brain.
And
Take
Yeah,
things out
I
and
we
learned
let the
got
that
to.
ruach.
too.
We have to. And even what was said today, it got young Candace reconsidering things now about Yahuwah on it, ain't it? I sense it, baby. I sense it.
I was
You
definitely following along, and I felt in my spirit that what you guys are saying were the truth. So,
yeah, it's the truth.
All
Now
yeah.
praises.
look here. You might have thought that whatever she said for whatever she said, Jerry, to bring her on, all that is ordained by Yahuwah. You just didn't
Hallelujah.
say what you said and then your mother repeat. No, bring her on. I want to see her.
Yes.
That was ordained by Yahuwah, and that He's wakening you up, baby girl. That's all what's
Yes.
happening. He's waking you up. That's
We all
all.
And you
got
know, I want to
quickened.
say
We
something
all got
to
quickened.
her. You may
Come
lose
on.
friends. Don't worry about who you lose
That's
because
right.
I
he's
don't
going to,
have
he will
every
add
last
to
one
you.
of them I done lost,
Yeah.
and but with him,
He
I
will add
have
to you.
everything.
Of course.
Yeah, he
Of
will
I
add
course.
to you, baby. And don't worry about it because see, he doesn't want you to grasp on because the same seed your mother planted.
Yeah, man. He don't
Then
want that.
put the rock
He
in
don't
water
want
and you're
that.
going to,
I
and he
know you.
doesn't want that.
Yeah, and
this
I know
was
you
not
hadn't.
planned.
I
This
know
was
it
not
wasn't playing,
planned.
and I know. I know, Candace, that you never call your mother crazy. You might have did it under your breath or something. But you know what? She have never been crazy, baby girl. She's never been crazy. She's been in the truth.
Hallelujah.
And Jerry,
That's the
this is
only
a
thing that can
result.
truly set you free.
Yeah, and this is a result of your tough line for them. You're praying for them. Now you seeing it. You know, you give Yahuwah a time. A lot of people just think Yahuwah is just this big, like I say, this big musician and just wave a wand or be like the old show. And truly, I don't know how old you are, and I'm not gonna ask you, but I know Jerry remember too. The old show
I love,
Bewitched. You know, just twinkle your nose.
yeah, I
Yahuwah don't
remember
Yeah,
work
you
like
with.
that.
yeah, yeah.
You get me?
My
The old
daughter
show
knows.
Bewitched.
She's
You
watched
know.
that show. Yeah,
Bewitched, man.
yeah,
These younger folk don't know
yeah.
what I'm talking
We
about,
want
though.
to know
You
who
know,
bewitched us.
Yeah.
The colonizer.
I'm not that young.
exactly, exactly, exactly.
She's about to turn 30.
Oh, really? Oh, you still a
Yeah.
baby though. So, but you good. You're a smart
I'm
baby
50.
though. You're a smart baby. You
I'm
50.
50. I
Oh, well,
remember it.
you remember the show then. You remember the show, Bewitched.
Hmm.
But Yahuwah doesn't work like that. He takes his
Right.
time and he do it in his time. That's the reason he says, "My ways ain't like yours. My thoughts ain't even like
That's
Right.
yours."
He came in on a donkey.
Yeah,
Humble as
he was
ever.
humble.
Huh?
mhm.
I
Y'all say it
said he
again.
was humble. He
Who
came
was
in on a
humble?
say,
He came in on a donkey. He's humble and not as showboaty as humans would
And
imagine
and
He
him.
humble, but
I'm
let me
glad you.
tell you something about, let me tell you about Yahusha. He would whoop your tail. Remember, he had to go to the temples and the synagogues and beat their
yeah,
behinds for
Yeah,
change. So he's
yeah.
humble, but he's also, he wasn't no wimp.
And see,
right.
that's the way the Christians teach how he is today. When he come back here, he ain't coming back as no lamb, baby. He coming
Ah,
back here as a lion, and he's gonna whip and kick
Hmm.
tail. And
yes.
they think this little old baby, baby Mary's baby boy is coming back. No,
That's why
no,
he says he's coming like a thief in the night.
a thief in
Yep.
the
Hmm.
night.
Clearing up
Nice.
some stuff.
They ain't nice.
Tear up.
And listen to me. Don't go for this stuff. Yahusha, Yahuwah, when they come back, when he come back here, he gonna kill some folk. Don't go for this stuff. Oh, he's so meek and he gonna kill some folk. He gonna
Yes.
kill
Yes.
some folk, and particularly people that have done Yasharel wrong.
My daughter
Knowingly.
said he
Yasharel.
gonna restore order.
That's what he gonna do.
Mhm.
That's what he's going to do. And
The
to
head shall be, the last shall be first, and the
The
first is going to become
first,
last. It's already happening.
come on, it's already happening, baby. You
yeah,
smart.
it's
Babylon,
You're
it's
happening.
smart,
not
baby girl.
falling. Babylon
Yeah,
has fallen.
it has fallen.
Yeah,
You
my
smart.
baby girl.
It don't take
Yes,
her long to
yes.
comprehend. It don't take her long to
Yeah,
comprehend. All she had to hear.
yeah.
Hey, Sister Jerry. It is no doubt in my mind that everything that she have heard today, you have told her before. But he still got a certain time to pluck them ears off when she hear it again. And that's
Mhm.
what happened today. Her ears just come open today. So she could really hear. And that's just it. But when our father come back here, he come back here, man, with a sword. He told Edom in Joel 3 to them plows that you got, because you are farmers and stuff, and you are plowing and you reaping fields and stuff. He said, turn them things into some weapons, because I'm coming back. And I'm gonna bring you down in the valley of Jehoshaphat,
And plead
Mm.
for his
and
people.
plead for my people. Why I got to plead for them? Because you don't want to give them up. And they are my
Hallelujah.
people.
We don't want us
And
in
I'm
our
finna
own.
plead with you for them. And now his pleading is different than our pleading now. Because if you continue
Yeah.
to read your Yahuah 3, you'll see how he pleaded with them folk. It's just like
Hmm.
what he pleaded with us. Come and let us
Yeah.
plead. Let me plead with you. Together. Says him, and he just go right in on our sins. That ain't no pleading. That ain't no fair pleading, Father. You, but it's fair pleading because he know everything. So don't go for this stuff, this
Hmm.
little old light Christianity stuff no more.
Hmm.
Cause it ain't,
Yeah.
it ain't worth a
They
hill
don't,
of beans.
it's
It's
not.
not.
And the thing is, so sad, they're the only ones who have not had to suffer to be a Christian.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
There's something. They
Father.
don't have to be beaten into their name.
Mm.
I always look at the movie Roots. The reason why they hate LeVar Burton that was over Reading Rainbow, because he's always stood for the Hebrew people. He's
Come on.
always. That's why
Always.
he every character he's even played, it was significant.
Yeah. I
His
seen on a
eyes,
clip.
even in Star Trek, his eyes were like what fire.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I seen on a clip that he had he was on. Was it a clip or come on? It had to be a clip. And he said those chains that he wore when he was a little boy in Roots, he still got them chains today over his mantle to always
Yes.
remind him of who he
Hmm.
is. You
Yes.
know,
Because if
and
you
he,
look at that, it tells you how Christianity, even the movie Shaka Zulu, it showed you how they captured the tribe
yeah.
by
Yeah.
religion, Christianity.
Yep.
By religion,
Yep.
and I
Yep.
love the part in there. I love the part in there
Yeah.
when Shaka, they thought they had Shaka Zulu. They thought Shaka Zulu was a fool too, and Shaka Zulu asked one of them colonizers. He said, "How do you catch a monkey?" A monkey. I love the way them people say monkey. They don't say monkey like us. They say a monkey. And the colonizer said, by showing him something shiny or something like that, Shaka Zulu will let him know this is what you think you're doing, showing us something shiny. You think we are monkeys. I love scenes like that. And that Lion King, I've watched that the cartoon, the animated one over and over and over because it depicts who we are. It's showing you the gathering. Lion King, something simple as that, but we miss everything. Why? Because we perceive everything as entertainment.
Christine.
And
Yeah.
something else
Yeah.
I want you
So we miss is the
to look
message.
Deceivers. The great
Mm-hmm.
before you
deceptions.
look at anything. Cover your ear gates, your eye gates. Was supposed to. But the movie Wicked, I just saw it.
I've never seen that.
It's the movie Wicked, and it's depicting. I don't know if you're gonna see it, but when you see it, you looking at two different type of women.
Really?
Mm.
You see how they demonized us and how they glorified them.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Movie is a
Yeah.
lot harder to think. We have to understand there's hidden messages for years.
Yeah.
Television. In the television. The
It
That's
says
television.
she
right.
don't tell.
Telling
She
their
gonna
own
tell
vision.
someone what it
They told us about
is.
Yeah, but we gotta go. My daughter's here to help me in the garden
oh
Oh,
today,
really?
and
goodness.
I want to
Well,
announce
y'all
my
enjoyed it.
getting the garden ready so that we can eat some healthy organic food, not been tampered by the
Hey,
colonizer.
I ain't cutting you off, but let's end this live and y'all can just don't hang up. Y'all stay on. We can talk or whatever.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me finish because we done went so far, and we don't want these people to not watch us when they look at the time.